Oh, hey!
Howdy.
Hi! How are you? Me too, man.
No.
What?
No.
Damn. Still alive. Electricity just blinked in my house. Weird. Thought it was just the lights in the kitchen that went out. Because I still heard the game going. I'm like, why is this happening? And then I heard, when did the lights came back? Okay, whatever. Then I heard the Discord. Excuse me? I'm walking over here, I'm like, what's going on? And then I see my router restarting. So neat.
Yeah.
I don't
Got a code?
I will have a code. Thank God for yeses, I guess, although it tricked me into thinking it's my kitchen. It's
Bad time.
router. Separate location though. Except for
Same.
UPS. Smooth. But sure, it can keep the PC powered on for about 30 minutes when running a game. The hefty human guess. But like, yeah, weak monitor and the computer on the UPS side. Not that. Just wrap it up. Copied the code, but I didn't paste it anywhere. Should probably paste it.
That might help.
Look at that small little corner of the world we got.
Feels like a big corner.
Maybe a little bit.
I have a lot of land.
Oh, I don't have. I could afford to have more. Too used to legendary. Expanding is usually. Oh, worst part about power going out is on the clock on your oven and microwave.
Also, it sounds back a turn.
It's gonna be, let's say, which was Canada. Otherwise, the autosave.
I'm the one in charge round here.
What time is it? I don't have my phone up.
6:12.
Bison lemon. Okay. What's up with bison and stone for a second? Priests claimed to soul. Son of a bitch.
The
Finally.
Iron Dragon.
Charming is good to go.
Shogungan Lord reporting.
Oh fuck, I could just straight up recruit rank 9 peasant.
That's,
Slip out of mine.
Celestial
I have him at rank
ancestors.
7. Looks like. Oh, that's at the gate though.
Born to rule.
Fuck, and rank 9 fucking Jade Warriors? Dude, I'm just gonna disband this army and re-recruit all these fucking 9s. Piece of shit. Gonna be. That's a.
Only the worthy may serve. Cathay has no need of wastrels.
Spare.
Service is every Cathayan's duty. I will not tolerate sloth. Power in the blood. Wind Shaper.
Lord of the Jade Swarm.
Settings. Got the just. Field agent somewhere you can use the hero.
Ruler of the Sky Road.
No. I was gonna make one though. Literally right before we got disconnected.
Get out of my mind.
Second.
Pig!
Offspring of dragons.
Hmm.
The Celestial Empire endures.
Yang loves us always.
I have 763.
Dang. Actually, I could man.
Ready to defend. You stand before the Supreme Matriarch once more. I stand. Enter. Nangao's defenses are lowered for you.
There we go.
The Bastion requires it.
The Iron Dragon.
Alchemist of the House of Secrets. Metal is mine to command.
The House of Secrets.
Hell yes.
The Desert Alchemist.
Forbidden
I
and
have 57.
all existence is an experiment. Oh, for a little more warpstone.
Second. 5 minutes.
Driven by rage.
What's he getting on the...
Shaman bends to my will.
Shugengan Lord reporting.
Oh no, Miriam is dead.
The house of secrets forever.
They will be waylaid. The path of metal.
Outcast, but with new purpose. I have not lost my mind.
Heat undermines our efficiency. The dragons would approve.
I will be obeyed. I expect loyalty, efficiency, and harmony.
Hey. Seven.
Lord of the Jade Swarm. No time to waste. In search of
It's
warpstone.
charming. James.
The Lord Magistrate stands ready. Your services are required.
All I see is a walking reagent. Great Bash and Theft. When does it ever stay through?
Praise be to the Iron Wind.
The dragon-blooded. Serve and honor
Good
your
job,
ancestors. To serve me is a privilege.
That son of a bitch.
Service is every Cathayan's
Kinda
duty.
makes sense though. Lord should have unit. I mean, if you went blue line, should have recruit rank, right?
Nope, they're below that. It's just one of the not being unique.
Oh, nifty.
Fire and metal! Faster! Faster! There is a way. Father loves me, despite my difficulties.
Born to rule.
Lord Magistrate. Harmony above all.
Power in the blood.
I crave.
A great journey. Heavens show the way. Isaiah provides a path.
Oh, Xiangyang worships me. The Warpstone Desert yields countless gifts. Heard there's to be a.
So I want it to be loud. I want it to be as loud as me when they're talking.
I'm heading eastward.
There we go.
to Redmane. I've heard there's
Perfect.
to be a...
You love him? That's so funny.
I'm heading to Redmane. I
want to jump on his head. It'd be so... Well, I guess you could with maybe torrents. Let's see if we can actually do that. Double jump on his head. Giddy up. Oh, we're vibrating. What if I find what if I find the best skip and I beat the game right now just because I'm on top of his head? Oh! What? What just happened?
Hello everyone and welcome to the boss ranking that broke me. I tried very hard to fight as many bosses as possible and ended up with over 70 encounters. I definitely missed a few, but some are either locked behind NPC quests or just super hidden, so I did what I could. Repeats don't count unless it's a variation that makes at least kind of a difference, starting from 1 and working our way to whatever number it is. Number 1, Soldier of Godric. This dude sucks. First day on the job. The easiest boss in Elden Ring is a single lame Soldier of Godric. Please ignore the footage of him hitting me while I talk shit. This man is a rookie who's lucky his poise is mildly carrying him in this particular instance. But if I got the run back, he would go down hitless, guaranteed, like a no-name piece of tin garbage. Number 2, Miranda, the Blighted Bloom. This new Gen 9 regional variant of Lileap is rooted to the spot, and since poison does next to no damage in this game, you can just inhale the spores with no mask on and have her dead by the time it matters. Nice nickname.
Like, it's not like I don't feel like I don't feel like WoW betrayed me. I don't feel like anything. I just don't want to do another raid tier again and deal with the same stupid mistakes every tier. Like, it's not fun for me to do, and I just don't want to do it. I don't know. Like, I could do this. I just close the game. Like, I don't want to play the game. I'm deciding if I want to play Elden Ring or do something else, or just like call it. Like, I don't know. I said I'd play Elden Ring today. It's just really kind of weird to me because, like, I've been so, like, passionate about the game for so many years and everything, and it's just like, I just have, like, whenever we're wiping and, like, things are taking a long time, I just don't want to do it. Like, that's literally it. I just don't want to do it.
This conversation is getting way out of fucking hand,
too much.
dude.
You think so?
Yes. Why are you sitting here moping about fucking WoW?
Well, I don't know.
It's
It's depressing to me, man. It's fucking depressing. Like, it's fucking
listen,
depressing.
10.0 will fix it, okay?
10.0 will fix it. You sure? Honestly, guys, there's a big part of me that wants to just like turn off the stream right now, but that's the part of me that would have turned off the stream a year ago. The part of me today is saying, like, let's fucking play Elden Ring. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's have some fucking.
Yeah, dude.
Let's have some fucking fun. Like, I'm so sick of worrying about this bullshit or stressing myself out. Like, I just want to have fun and stream the game that I want to stream and do what I want to do, man.
Get out of my mind.
You know what? I will unsubscribe from them just so I can subscribe again. These are the kinds of videos that you remember after a year. Like, these are the videos that are timeless, that tell a story, and I think we should promote that, and we should give that some support. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, man.
Duty.
Why I betrayed my WoW.
Unity.
Thank God for that.
No, I didn't.
A few months ago, I decided to declare war on my World of Warcraft guild.
Good.
Now, you might be thinking, but why, Pine?
Okay.
I thought you were a good boy. Well, I'm gonna tell you,
Iron
the arduous sin they committed,
He's not at all.
what they did to incite my divine wrath.
They didn't give him an item.
They didn't give me this sword, and I want it. Back in
What can I say? I mean, if it's classic WoW, you know what it's gonna be. It's always
This
the
was
same.
one of the
and
most
it's never
sought
different.
after items in Molten Core.
Yep.
Well, you know, after Toep and Mana
Celestial ancestors.
Ring of Spellbound Choker. But Mage Blade is clearly the best because look, it's a sword. It sparkles.
Yeah.
Now I know. It's a reasonable drop rate, and even warriors are getting it now.
Yes.
Somehow, after a whole year in Classic, this item has still evaded my poor little gnome. So who is to blame? Is it just unlucky? Is
How
it
do you
just
not
unfair?
have that?
Is this video just an elaborate presentation for why I feel entitled to loot?
Yes.
So here's my guild history.
Yes.
At the launch of Classic, I joined
I
a
promise I
nifty
didn't
little
watch this
guild
before,
while I was
okay?
leveling and was very set on my
Nifty little
endgame
guild.
goals. Pump big numbers, pump big damage.
Yes,
damage,
dude.
Loot gear.
Yes,
loot gear.
dude.
Yes, power. And I hope to make some friends along the way.
Not really.
And you know, once I got
'em.
to 60, I was pumping just fine and I had already made plenty of real homies. But the loot was about to take a turn for the worst. Now the first Mage Blade that dropped went to a Giga pumping Chad Warlock. This guy was trying to stack as many world buffs as he could by like week 4. And he watched anime, so he was probably the main character of the raid.
That's the guy in my guilds. This is his alt. His alt is actually in this guild, and that's why he doesn't get world buffs and get ready in our raids, is because he's just too busy doing it on this alt.
Me. So no complaints there, right? Well, that was until, you know, someone got made officer and decided to, oh, I'm gonna leak the loot priority. And you know, it's a good thing they leaked it, because the top 2 people on Prio for Mage Blade were Paladins. Okay, well,
That's fine.
let's see where I am. Pint. Fuck this guy. I'm never gonna give him any loot. I hate him. He's like Gnome Hitler. I fucking hate Pint.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
turns out my GM fucking hated me because of my epic YouTube gaming channel. Or maybe he hated the fact that I tell people to subscribe to Pint in raids.
Dude, like classic WoW, dude. It's the only game that you would ever have somebody that gets that stupid. Like, imagine getting mad over somebody having a YouTube channel. This is like, that is peak classic Andy. And that is peak phase 1 classic Andy. Like, getting mad about that. Holy fucking shit, you have to be a complete moron to think like that. It's like every server was like this too. It's insane. This peak classic, this is the pristine classic Andy.
He believed that my behavior was egotistical and virgin, which I can't disagree with. Between the constant lying, the 2-hour MC clear times, and the numerous e-girl scandals, me and the boys figured it was time to jump ship to a new guild. By now, I had gone.
Are there a lot of e-girls that play classic? I feel like it's all a bunch of like balding 30-year-old men. Yes? Really? There's no way. No, I don't know, like, because, like, anytime, like, in my guild, for example, I think we might have one girl, but she never talks. And everybody else is just a 30-year-old man.
4 months without Mage Blade, and my first guild disbanded later that week.
Yeah.
But I am an optimistic gnome and can look at the future with a positive eye. I'm sure in my new guild, Serenity, there will be no problems and things will be completely different, and I will definitely get the items I want.
Absolutely.
Credit where it's due, the leadership in Serenity was pretty good. But at the time, they operated on a rolling system. But, you know, I figured what could be more fair than Lady Luck? It seems pretty unlikely you're gonna go super long without getting anything.
Yep. 3 months.
12 more weeks without getting my guiding moonlight. I saw freshly capped 60s get it on their first molten core.
Join me in the war.
I wonder if he's ever seen a freshly capped level 51 get it on their first molten core. I wonder if he saw that, dude. Remember that? Remember that shit, dude? That was fucking funny, man. That was so, dude, whenever I got that Mage Blade, people got so fucking furious. It was hilarious. Free Hong Kong. Yes, exactly. I did an MC raid on a level 51 Warlock where I funneled myself all the loot, and I looted myself Talisman of Ephemeral Power and Mage Blade in the same raid on level 51 Warlock.
But
was it 55? Okay, whatever.
It's just unlucky.
No, it was 51.
After all, they did
51.
change the loot rules after. but it didn't hurt any less.
Yeah, it was 50.
To them, it was just an unlucky hot streak of not getting any loot.
Tune's 55.
But for me, it had been more than 8 months without getting a very specific item that I'd been pumping very hard to try and earn. The psychological iceberg of pent-up entitlement was about to tip.
You need that sword.
So, I decided I wasn't going to take it anymore, and I quit the game to play that video game made for children where you grind every day in hopes for some arbitrary, random, mostly cosmetic improvement. Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I'll admit was kinda just like the gaming equivalent of Rebound Sex, so I fucking stopped kidding myself and came back to Azeroth. And since WoW Retail mysteriously vanished after Legion, I decided to come back to Classic and give Serenity one final chance.
Okay, give the guild another shot.
If I don't get Mageblade right now, I am going to make a Horde tune and gank you all.
Good.
I left it up to Lord's will, and when loot from the boss dropped that I needed, the Lord said,
Pint, my son, don't let them hoes treat you bad. Ride up on them bitches and stomp them the fuck out.
Is that Jesus?
No, I ain't no bitch.
Holy
okay, well,
shit!
Maybe I'm kind of a bitch, but I'm not a bitch when it comes to loot.
Oh my god!
Your fate is sealed.
When did he say that in the Bible?
Well, boys, let me tell you. There's only a few things more sweet than Mageblade.
Okay.
And revenge is one of them.
What is it?
You get what you fucking deserve. Bang.
He was not gay.
Meet Punt, my second mage in my little side project for the past few weeks. Look at how sad she is. It's because she doesn't have Mageblade. I'd sit on this tune getting boosted through dungeons by my absolutely new Chad of a guild who actually love and respect me. After taking about 2 weeks to get to level 40, I decided to go fucking sicko mode on them. And use my full power. Mage be nimble, mage be quick, mage level fast, and suck your dick. I started off in Zul'Farrak doing a newfound zombie farm and was getting about 140,000 XP per hour. No, this isn't cheating, this is completely fine, what are you doing about? Whilst my friend was leveling like a normal fucking person, getting about 25,000 per hour. What a fucking casual, huh?
Yeah, fuck him, dude.
Wait, why am I sheep? Hello? What? Hi! Oh my god!
In only about 10 hours of gameplay, I had gone from level 40 to level 55. But shit! My guild's doing a molten core, and I'm level 55.
Why not
So
show
I
up?
need to get it tuned and put this puppy into full gear.
Yeah.
So with the help of a demigod warlock who is unfazed by solid matter, I managed to get my molten core attunement just in the nick of time. Phased by solid matter. So with the help of a demigod warlock who is unfazed by solid matter, I managed to get my molten core attunement just in the nick of time. Now in this molten core, my guild actually let me roll on loot under the pretense that I would hit 60 within the next week.
Yeah, okay.
I received a mediocre belt, a comfortable pair of mittens, and one of the best, most sought after rings a mage can get in the whole game.
Wow.
And I couldn't even equip any of it. Yeah, I'm definitely in the right guild. From there I made my way to Zul Guru, where I opted to beat my head against a brick wall for fucking hours on end because I'm too stubborn. I will get this eventually. Fuck! Until my skill prevailed and I was getting about 300,000 XP per hour, which is quite literally the fastest leveling method in the entire game, bringing me from level 58 to 60 in about 90 minutes. If my last video didn't convince you to play Mage, these fucking leveling speeds should. Now I could finally equip my epic items.
So,
ruin will fall upon them.
That's insane. That's absolutely fucking insane, man. How is it that OP? Holy fuck.
Wow, I look the exact fucking same.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to raid the next week, so one of my friends gave me some extremely wise advice.
Okay, what did they say?
Pint, you should start a GDKP. Also, you are cool. Now, if you don't know what a GDKP is, essentially everyone bids on items for gold, and then all of that gold is divided amongst all the raid members at the end of the raid.
Not really, though. because then you have to pay into the pot, and then after the pot you have to get consumables for the main people that come next week. So that means that you actually split the pot 42 ways, and then so if you have 40,000 gold, it actually goes to like 950 gold. But then somehow whenever all the trades go out, just to make it easier to trade people, it actually somehow goes down to 900. So whenever you do the math, the number of times, and then you also divide out the extra cuts that are going in towards the pot, it turns out that people don't actually get the amount of gold that they were supposed to get, but actually about only 85% of that. And then you shave off the top an extra, I don't know, 3 to 4 shares? I don't know who would do that.
I do not fail. Alchemist,
I really don't.
ready.
Oh, and then also if people leave, you take their cuts too. Because you're dividing it among 25, even though there's not 25 people. Sorry, 40 people there. I don't know why I said 25.
Now, seeing as I'm playing on an American server, I figured I'd embrace the culture a little bit and indulge in one of the country's oldest traditions.
Using a gun.
Violent capitalism. So I got some of my friends together and I made a nifty little Discord and I started spamming trade chat more than any of my competitors like the anime villain I am. Anytime a mage would whisper me, I'd go to their Warcraft logs and check if they needed any of the gear that I needed.
Good.
And if they did, well,
don't invite them.
We'd be conveniently full on mages.
Yeah? How convenient that is.
And somehow, by the time Raid came around, we had multiple Thunder Fury wielders, a Scarab Lord, and a High Warlord all in the raid ready to go.
What a bunch of losers.
After a home run from Gar and a Shazra Shinobi, morale was still looking high and some pretty swanky items.
Damn, that's actually really good.
We defeated Ragnaros the Fire Lord, and it was time to let the vultures feast. I got a nice pair of Yeezys for pretty cheap. I got some sweet new gloves to finish up my 3 set, and won the tier 2 pants at a hearty 75 gold. After the rogues had finished bidding on their second-hand Eagle Bloodfang pants,
you are not a Chad.
Oh damn.
We decided it was time to start auctioning the most coveted of items. My feet pics. Hold on. You just looked at my feet. Wait, do you feel that? It's the cold, unblinking eyes of your ISP, hackers, and the Queen of England. But worry not, my dear viewer, because with ExpressVPN you can keep all of your activity hidden and encrypted, so that neither Her Majesty nor anyone else can see what you're doing online. Now you can watch all of those Felix makeup tutorials you've been wanting to watch without anyone knowing.
See, I thought it was gonna...
The secret's safe with me. But that's not all. I know you have plenty of time to catch up on all those Netflix shows while you wait for Blizzard to fix Shadowlands.
I have been got there. I did not expect that
at all. The hit new show is region locked and you can't watch it? Well, with ExpressVPN you can change your location with just one click and watch any show from any...
Is this basically just NordVPN, but it's a different name?
Around in the world. Look at how easy
I'm not sure.
Even a mage could do it. Let's see, what do you guys like?
Yes, okay. Alright, I thought so.
So I decided to watch the critically acclaimed anime movie Marion the Witch's Flower, which is only available in the US. But with ExpressVPN, I was able to change my location and watch the whole thing without a problem.
How about
that? I gotta say,
that's crazy.
I quite liked it. Wait a minute. This is copyright infringement. Expect to be hearing from my lawyer. Find out how you can get 3 months free by clicking the link in the description box below at expressvpn.com/pint. Back to the video.
So you can use this to you can install this VPN and then use it to look at porn at school? That's awesome. Holy shit, that's awesome, man.
Thanks to my Asmongolding, which is, yes, now a verb, I have been...
Minute and a half.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you. It's too fucking long.
No, it's not. Oh, thank God. I was so worried. Oh my God. I was so terrified. Holy shit. Like, no, because, like, you never know whenever they're going to put something like that into the dictionary. Like, I got to be careful, guys.
Receiving hefty stimulus packages from simps and e-girls alike. And this allowed me to purchase the Talisman of Ephemeral Power for only 700 gold.
Very smart guy.
I could have spent on at least 1,400 Night Elf lap dances.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Maybe it was a waste of money.
That is a lot.
Mage Blade. laid down hard with a fat 100.
100 G.
I know none of these other motherfuckers need this shit.
That's right.
I made sure of it. And that's how I got my Ashersong. Wait, no, what the fuck, dude? You're a warrior.
What?
I know what this is. This guy's trying to bid me up so I end up paying more gold.
Wait, what?
I can't afford this, man.
A warrior?
I give
Wait,
up.
why?
Oh.
400? Wait. What?
I won't.
Oh my god.
Socialism has its merits.
400 G? And he got it. Oh, that's cute. That's real cute. Don't do it, Arthas.
As the righteous, upstanding, obviously good guy Alliance known that I once was, I must admit the dark side had clearly wormed its way into my heart.
Absolutely.
No longer was I the small gnome you've all come to know above.
Now what?
Now I had become
a fucking
big, fat, stinking zug-zug. And since Horde are clearly the bad guys in World of Warcraft, it was time
They are, thank you. Like, it's obvious that they're the bad guys. Like, Horde are always the aggressors. Like, Horde bombed there. Burned down Teldrassil. Like, every terrorist attack is being committed by the Horde. They always horde on. They always are doing bad shit. The Horde are the aggressors. And that it was a preemptive strike? Yeah, it was a pussy-ass fucking bunch of bullshit, okay? Arthas was a terrorist. Arthas was mind controlled, okay? Like, yeah, right. He was fucking mind controlled by the Lich King. It's not gonna happen. Stormheim, who gives a shit about that? One of the bad guys in the story. Everybody knows him. You know it, I know it, everybody knows him.
to claim my vengeance.
Yep.
Nay, justice.
No, dude!
I figured Serenity would be my perfect target, so what dastardly plan could I conjure?
He's gonna go back and kill his own guild?
Hit him with the oldest trick in the book.
Oh, no.
A goblin sapper charge and some AoE damage from a few mages could wipe an entire raid in seconds.
Oh, no.
First, set up a shadow Discord and get all of your mage friends in there. Set up a certain time and place to meet. Get an alliance team to kill us in a very specific spot so that bodies of people still res right where Serenity would be. But let's not forget the most important piece of the puzzle.
Oh my god.
My good friend Bradshaw. Bradshaw still raided with Serenity and thus would be my main concern.
Wait, so he sold out his own guild? Wait, and this guild gave him the fucking belt? So this dude got the fucking belt and he's selling out his own guild. That's a warrior? Listen, warriors don't do this. This guy's a bitch. Well, I guess there's something wrong with him. You can tell there's obviously something wrong with this guy because he's wearing ranking gear, okay? So it's not really his fault.
He would tell me what layer they were on, because back then layers were still a thing, but you know they've since removed them. But you know they were back then. It's old footage. So then it came. And half the mages on the roster didn't fucking show up, but that's okay. It's too bad, because we were all there at the gates of AQ, ready to dunk on them hoes.
Come on, unleash!
We see them on the horizon, and suddenly all of my heart
Elemental!
Is this his own character?
a shot at justice.
Killing his own guild.
So yeah, we only killed like 3 people, but one of those people was Kitiara, who was usually Serenity's top pumping warrior, but he died on the first boss, so the fact that I killed him doesn't matter. So
wait, he died on the first boss. Oh. Okay.
The next day, I finished up a GDKP, and I'm going to turn in my items when I see Serenity is summoning people on the roof to get their CG buff.
Oh no.
Well, I still have a couple sappers in my inventory. inventory. What if I just... After getting my ass promptly beat, my guild talks about needing some backup at the gates of AQ while they summon. I figured Serenity's raid time would be soon, so I head over to help out. My guild zoned into AQ, and shortly after, Serenity arrived at the gates, which I proudly defended to my extremely dying breath.
I love how everybody in the entire guild that he's in is all just like waiting to kill him. Wait. That Kinitara guy? This is a top warrior in your guild? No wonder your guild sucks. He's using Quell Sarar. This guy's trash. Ew, this guy's terrible. Look at him. He's using Quell Sarar. What a fucking idiot.
Not gonna lie, boys, felt kinda humiliated at this point. Despite my later run-ins with Serenity being pretty coincidental, I presume they took it as an act of further aggression.
Yeah, they bet.
So I decided to embrace my meme even further. All shall kneel beneath my my foot. Witness me. Oh.
They kicked me. I don't blame them, man.
So they kicked me from the guild Discord.
Yeah, you live like a bitch, you die like a bitch.
Maybe it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Leveling a whole other character, crying about not getting given. Fuck that. This is the only fun I can have in this fucking game anymore. Creating my own roleplay PvP experience is really fun. I'd recommend it. Whether your character is Orcman McZuggyzug, who terrorizes the lobbies of Duskwood, or Sir Chad, the guy that PvPs without a chestplate and flexes after every kill.
Good, I like that.
Making a name for yourself with a fun PvP gimmick and a bit of a story is, in my opinion, one of the most fun things you can do in Classic. Because in the end, the only thing better than killing strangers online is killing your friends. I don't hate Serenity, I just want bloodshed. You think
I always kind of wanted to do that, is like level up a whole new character and then kill my own guild. But then I got to level 2 and I got bored. I was like, this is taking too long. Like, oh my god, like I don't want to do this. Fuck, man, holy shit, it's gonna take 4 hours, dude. So I just gave up.
A conquest would be so easily thwarted by feelings. My friend, if I was going to give up so easily, I'd have already done it by now.
So
this was only the beginning.
Are you kidding me?
Soon I would begin my training.
Right? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh god. Wow, exciting.
And I gained some mad clout in the white main PvP community.
Amazing.
I would make my faction proud.
This guy didn't start
I'd already
ranking,
killed
did
a
he?
few at the gates of AQ.
Oh my
so
god.
all I had to do was hunt down the rest of them and drive them into the ground like the dogs.
He's killing his own guild.
Loktar. Oh, wait. I mean, for the Alliance.
This is... Yeah.
Kill number 1. Kitiara. Again, because he's online, so... I head over to Booty Bay.
I mean, the guy sucks, to be fair. Like, let's be honest. Like, he's using Quell Sarar. Like, holy shit.
Mage Pal to pump some frostbolts into him.
Oh, come on,
but
dude.
Unfortunately, that's not enough to save him from the fact that warriors, upon entering combat with a mage, are clinically diagnosed with a...
Fuck you.
I got a Nobbler. Trap.
Fuck you. Actually...
Shit on.
It's not me. That's not me.
Erectile dysfunction, swiftly followed by deleting your character.
That's not me. That's not me.
I even managed to get a few bites in before we made our great escape. I'm passing BM right now, my dude. Kill number 2 and Zalia. I track him down to Eastern Plaguelands and I start hunting. I find him and clap his human female cheek several times.
Christ.
We have an epic chase scene which ends in him unfortunately dead yet again, followed by him taking rest sickness and porting.
What a surprise.
I decide to call it a night and I snuggle into bed feeling great about myself.
Isn't that cute?
And sleep without an ounce of remorse. I log on the next day and who do I find?
Is it the
Anzella. Oh, but he's AFK. I couldn't kill him.
Oh, look what he has on him, dude. Look, he's got the fucking sword. Oh, it's fucking amazing.
about him being
Yeah,
here,
he's got
I'll
the
just
fucking sword.
lower his health so that when he comes back, he can
That's the
see my
best part.
face before he eats the dirt. Feels pretty
Oh
good
my
to camp
God.
someone who has better gear than you. But
Yeah.
eventually I got bored and moved on when I was told by Bradshaw that Enzella didn't know who I was and also didn't really speak English, so he couldn't understand my incessant shit-talking. Now, I already knew this was gonna take a while.
Didn't even know what the
So
fuck's
I thought
going
back
on.
to my training and remembered
Just some random ass
the
dipshit.
technique passed down.
Yeah, didn't even care.
Commander of cities.
Today
Remember,
I teach you the
you
art
do not fight alone.
of having more people on your team. So I began recruiting a valiant
That works
set of
really
mates
well
to
in
do my
PvP.
bidding. I would be the Twitch Eagle streamer, and they, my humble
mind
trainers.
is ready.
I'd reward them with 10 gold per
Streaming on
kill and a
Twitch?
shout out in my next video. So now the whole world knows that you guys are fucking cheap clout chasers, Lamau. And of course, Serenity saw the bounty that I'd placed on them. Some would say it lacks subtlety, but I'd say it's an alpha gamer move. So one.
Wait, so this is like actual drama that happened, and he's paying people to kill his own guild? Holy shit,
only
dude.
to dragons.
Holy fucking shit. See, I told you guys I should have played on a PvE server, man. Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. This is what plastic candies do. See, they run out of game content. There's nothing else going on in the game. And so this is what they have to do instead. They invent these problems and these issues they have with each other. This is crazy. This is nuts.
Late night in Hinterlands,
Absolutely
my
fucking
first
nuts.
pupil, Kilbra, head out to scoop up a couple kills on Shinari. And he even cannibalized after. God, it makes me so proud.
Okay.
But he didn't get the kill on the Thunderfury tank, so I'm gonna have to bump him down to an A-. Still, that's 2 kills. Also, he killed Laser Chicken, but I don't know who that is. So next up, Melandra. After getting a sloppily screenshotted kill on Angelzor,
That's nice.
she did manage to get a tasteful one-shot on Marty McFarlane. And finally,
Oh no, it was at the Dark Moon Fair too. That guy was trying to get
The
buffs.
dragons
managed to
chose
get a
me.
tasteful
Look at him, he's just trying to get buffs, man. Dude, he's just trying to get buffs.
At once.
What the hell?
one-shot on Marty McFarlane.
What an
And
asshole.
finally, this guy, my right-hand man and my tier 3 son. This guy leveled a Horde tune just to help kill Serenity. He camped Silithus all day and night. And this guy had more kills than Serenity than me.
as one.
Wow.
Dude, he's dangerous. So I head over to Silithus to help him camp one night, and
Okay.
I see Tilo. This guy.
Alright.
This guy who laughed at me. We hit him with some pyroblasts until eventually he flies out of town, never to be seen again. Until Viscount pulls a 400 IQ move of predicting that he was going to Tanaris. We land in Gadget Sand and see who other than T-Lol, who of course runs to the inn to use his hidden technique of logging off and shit-talking in Discord once again. We waited in the inn for him to log back on for a whole 50 minutes before we decided to pack him in for the night.
Bro, this is some stalker shit, man. What the fuck? Oh my god, 50 minutes you're sitting there? Oh, I can't wait for him to come back. Whenever he comes back, we go to get him. I know it. Dude, I've had people back in the beginning of Classic. I had people that waited for like 3 hours just for me to zone out of a raid so they could auto attack me once and hopefully get their name read on screen. Like, this is
Understood.
This is nuts, man. These people are fucking nuts. Fucking neckbeards. These are beyond neckbeards. These are like like wizards. That's what it is. They're like fucking. These are super wizards, like mega wizards, because they're beyond neckbeards. And this is all they do, is they just play, like their whole life and everything is just about this. It's crazy. Archmages, yeah, probably almost, yeah. Archmages, that'd be good.
And unfortunately, this was the beginning.
There is a way.
The next day, I tracked down another man to death. I waited outside for 40 minutes. Even Melandra, who hopes to get some extra credit, and some boys from the guild camped the portal room to catch Serenity as they ported in. And while we spilled plenty of Alliance blood, none of it was Serenity. I even took my massacre to Ironforge. Still, no Serenity. Every day, the amount of people on my Serenity dwindled. I knew my time was
Mage of the
and in my
Celestial Court,
desperation, I put out all the
seeking
money that I
Cathay's
had
foe.
left.
Wait.
1,000 gold to anyone who wiped Serenity. Chilbra and Risco decided to plan the final assault. They
Wait, so this guy's wait, he was breaking the entire guild by doing this so much? Holy shit. This guy destroyed a guild? Oh my god. So he deletes his own guild because they didn't give him the sword. Should have played on a PvE server, man. That's all it comes down to. Should have played on a PvE server. All I've got to say. Holy fucking shit. Wow.
gathered a much larger kill squad than last time.
Oh my god.
Ready to kill Serenity. Once and for all, to claim the 1,000
That actually is kind of exciting to know.
But
the Lord
there they were,
Magistrate stands
outside of
ready.
HQ.
Okay. But nobody came.
A tool of great efficiency.
I know what that's in.
It's been 3 weeks since Serenity has not been seen raiding. The raid leader left the guild amongst some others. Was it unrelated? Does having an angry LARPing gnome biting at your guild's ankles cause some damage over time, or am I giving myself too much credit? Who knows?
We had nothing to do with that, to be fair. Probably was like you think about a guild that it's like there's apparently numerous e-girl drama sagas. They're leaking the loot council stuff. Let's be honest. One mage is the least of their problems.
The Iron
this guild was fucked from the very beginning. Let's be honest.
Iron Wind.
So,
yeah, I mean, this seems like a fucked up guild.
The past few weeks have been some of the most fun I've had in Classic. The role-playing, the companionship, the enemies. Serenity may have died, but not in the way I'd hoped. When the ranking system and the raid buff culture offered no entertainment, Serenity was there to keep me playing. To give me a reason to log on, a reason to go out in the world. But here I stand, with everything I ever wanted, and yet... what cost?
This is my mission.
Oh shit.
I have Mageblade, and although my slaughter was shorter than I'd hoped, here I am, missing Serenity.
Alchemist, ready.
Because after all, what is the hunter without the hunt?
Shogun Lord reporting.
The Lord Magistrate stands ready.
No!
It's me, Pint, from Dancing. Now, most of you people aren't subscribed, so if you like this content, please do it. Also, Patreon, previews, tutorials, blah, 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 blah. And I'm probably gonna stream, so follow my Twitch, please. Anyways, I'd like to thank all of Serenity, and especially Marvy, the GM, for being a good sport throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, sure.
I'd also like to thank
I'm sure they really
for some
appreciated
of the art
that.
you've seen in this video. This is Twitter.
It's really meaningful.
Also, my hard drive failed, and I moved out of my parents' house, and my life's falling apart. Bye.
You moved out of your parents' house? That's a mistake. That's a fucking mistake. He should not have done that at all. So there's the video. This guy makes great videos. He deserves our support. You know what? I will unsubscribe from him just so I can subscribe again. Okay? This guy's great. We'll give him a like on his video. Make sure to give him some support. These are the kinds of videos that you remember after a year. Like, these are the videos, for example, like, you will remember this video probably way longer than, you know, Bill's update on Shadowlands. You know what I mean? Like, these are the videos that are timeless, that tell a story, and I think we should promote that, and we should give that some support. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, man. Bill's update on Shadowlands.
My mind. Seeking rare substances.
10,000 hours of Mage. So this has been a video a lot of people have recommended to me before, And I haven't seen it. I put it in my watch later because I knew that I would eventually watch it, and here we are.
Shaper.
Video sec, yeah. Have to check the layer afterwards.
Hello, I'm Pint, the best mage player in the whole world.
I thought that was
Let me ask you, what do you think of when you think of a mage? Big damage?
No.
Easy gold farming?
No.
Greater PvP?
Absolutely not.
Well, while that is true, it's not all sunny skies and free portals
No, it's not.
galore. To an outside observer, there is no downside to free water and food.
That's
But
true.
all mages know firsthand that being cursed to role players a sentient AI trapped inside of a vending machine for 8 hours a day is really going to start making you question your self-worth. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what it's like to be a mage, as I impart my
10,000
infinite
hours?
wisdom upon you.
To the
Like a generous, but also kinda gay god. From the ever bountiful highs
He's got one
to the mildly inconvenient lows.
Power is trapped.
What the fuck?
This is 10,000 hours of mage.
What is this? How'd they even hit him?
So with the release of Classic World of Warcraft, you decide to give your relationship with Blizzard another shot. And I
Big
swear
mistake.
it's not going to be abusive this time because he loves me deep down.
No, he'll never do that.
Now, to ready yourself for a grand future, you need to pick your class. Now, you could spend a bunch of time researching and comparing classes to find what's right for you.
Absolutely.
Or you could... World of Warcraft Classic, what is the best class in the game?
Replace that. Wait, what's this? Traps and also big hentai pictures? Please, thanks, Google. You know, sometimes these kinds of things have a way of working themselves out. The guy's a degenerate? Yeah, exactly. Holy shit. Yeah, listen, if you want to do that, you just can.
In fact, since picking my class was such a breeze...
You can't say traps anymore, it's offensive.
Is it offensive?
Yes.
What makes it offensive?
I don't know, but I read on Reddit that it was offensive, and so it's offensive.
Okay.
That's offensive.
Yeah, I heard somebody, like, there's one time there was a convention, somebody said it, and some guy got mad, but like, I never really took it seriously.
The most difficult decision I'd have to make was which color pigtails were the cutest. And then I was ready for launch. And that, my friends, is where the mage experience truly starts to pick up.
Alright, how about that?
On guard. Speed and unity.
If you're somehow unfamiliar with the mage leveling experience, let me sum it up for you.
What a
While
dick
many
sucker.
great philosophers have named mage, I believe that my interpretation is the most eloquent of all.
Okay, alright, let's hear it.
This shit's fucking tight. Launch week was easily one of the best experiences I've ever had in gaming. And I own all the Sakura games on Steam.
Wait,
and
what? Holy shit.
Ever had in gaming. And I own all the Sakura games.
Wow. That's crazy.
So this guy's like a weeb or something.
Yeah, of course he is. He's playing a female gnome.
People, you're bound to meet some colorful characters along the way.
I look like a bear because I'm a fucking big, hairy, fucking Persian dude. Like, so yeah, I do kind of look like a bear, but not a fucking gay bear. While you.
It all holds such a dear place
Classic
in my
WoW,
heart.
man.
So dear that I almost forgot about the 20,000 player queues. During that first week or so, leveling resembled a swarm of diseased rats, or
it was a great
sometimes
experience.
very polite rats, laying waste to a small indie company's crop field. And it was
it was
truly
such a great
testament to the
experience.
primal savage nature hardwired into mankind's DNA. So as popular as I am, I knew I was going to have to spend as much time as I could leveling alone. Luckily, Mage excels with this. With fat AoE damage as early as level 21, you have no need to concern yourself with mortal concepts such as friends. When you have crowd control, 13 hours to kill, and some lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to, that, my friends, is a 5-star gourmet recipe for success.
How it feels to AoE grind? Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Like, I remember the first video I ever watched about WoW in my whole life was a Fax Monkey video of him AoE grinding, and I saw him doing that.
Yes!
Okay, that's me, dude.
Dude,
that's me.
Yeah, and it had the brimful of ash of song, right?
That's where I got it from. Yeah, that's where I got it from.
What's up, Greenskins?
Because it's one of the first video I ever watched. And then I remember in Cataclysm, I faced off against Fax Monkey in RBGs.
Oh, it's because you're
and he
friends
beat me.
with the guy I'm at war.
And I was happy.
You know,
I was happy whenever I lost, man. It was the funniest fucking thing. I was at 10,000 hours of Mage if the video's only 20 minutes long.
Shut up, bitch! Nobody asked you anything. Play the video.
You've been playing Mage for a little while, huh? Oh wow, you just got improved Blizzard. How about you go try it out and attack the Knolls over there?
Greenskins can jump over walls, so there's a mountain range protecting you.
Yeah, something. It's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of suck.
But sometimes, try as you might, social interaction with other players is inevitable. Sooner or later, you might want to come out of that shell of yours and make a few friends. Luckily, major leveling is just as good with other players as it is solo.
Yeah, it's overpowered.
Your ability to polymorph, slow mobs, and rip aggro from the tank every pull, die, and still end up doing more damage than anyone else in a dungeon makes you a valuable asset. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah, something
I gotta say, despite the amount of utility Mage brings to the table, dungeon groups tend not to like us very much. I can definitely say that I've had my fair share of experiences that ended in... who needs those melee classes anyway?
There's no way, dude. Yeah, dude, whenever we were in fucking, whenever we were leveling that, we only had mages. Like, they were all spell creep groups. It's like, if you're not a mage, you weren't getting into the group.
This is bullshit. This is literally fucking
mage propaganda.
He's lying. Like, this is him lying right now.
Mage propaganda here. It's insane.
Perfect group. Unfortunately, with so many people attracted to such a class, this led to the rise of mage misogyny. As if overnight, playing a mage became almost synonymous with being a dumb fuck.
I wonder why.
So what if they can't figure out their one-button rotation? So what if they keep pulling when the healer has no mana?
Fuck 'em.
Mages are the new huntards, they say?
Something like that.
Have you no empathy? There. Don't listen to them. But it wasn't long before people looked down on you just for being a frosty boy. Your problems do not matter. You are a mage. You have it so much easier than everyone else.
That's true.
And to that
it's even Mikado. It's Mikado's character almost.
That's literally me.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Like, mages, like, they're ridiculously good for leveling. They have always really good damage in raids. They can make their own water. They can solo grind gold. Like, they're just... You need to take them down a peg.
Yep. You have no if you play a mage in Classic, you have no reason to cry at all. I gotta make some water and food. Yeah, guess what? Warlocks have to go farm shards for 18 hours a day to do their shit for hellstones and summons and shit. What are you crying about? Shut the fuck up. You play a mage. Fuck you.
And to that I say, yes, we do have it easier. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah.
During my leveling experience, I found a new hobby. Killing people.
Ooh, that's fun. I wish I could do that.
I have no code of ethics. I will kill anyone, anywhere. Children, animals, old people, doesn't matter. I just love killing. Some days I just log on and I wouldn't even level. I just look for victims to fuel my insatiable thirst for blood.
Dude.
And around this time, I was starting to get some clout, so I had a real target on my back. Enter Mr. Bojangles. If you are Alliance on Whitemane trying to farm Devil Soul Leather in the first couple months of Classic, the mere mention of Bojangles was enough to make you pack up your bags. Oh wait, you're dead, and he took your leather. Boo-hoo.
Fuck him, dude.
This dude was in Ungoro Crater 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and he wasn't even a fat virgin. He got mad pussy. What a Chad.
That's not true.
This guy was like the first level 60 rogue on the fucking server.
Yeah.
And he had so much gold, dude. He was filthy rich.
Yeah, the dick leveling up is really fucking good. It's clever. I don't know. I like it a lot.
Astromancer. He was making thousands per day. And maybe he even made a shitload of money in real life from selling all this gold.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Could anyone stop this outrageous man? Could any soul survive his rampage?
And overpower.
Yeah, me. Now I could show you some big shatter crits or tell you how cool Ice Block is, and it's pretty.
I like how like the actual like the reality here, like he's playing it off like he's 2v1ing these guys, but the fact is that they're both green level to him, and like the higher level warrior is helping his friend, and they waited for them to pull Gorlash for him to then go in there and fuck both of them over and get them killed while they're doing the fight. Right? This isn't some sort of like fucking like 300 IQ attempt there. It's the same thing with the gorillas. He waited for them to run over there and like run out of mana after fighting all the gorillas, and then he just shows up and kills them, and he shows the clip of himself targeting the character that has a higher level than him to imply that he's that much better than both of the players combined. This guy's very clever, man. I love this video a lot. This guy's super smart.
Tell you how cool Ice Block is, and it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I think that the best way for you to understand mage PvP is to show you.
Okay.
So without further ado, I give you my legendary level 46 encounter with the fabled Bojangles.
Level 46.
So I'm PvPing with my good pal Thought Cheeto, and I noticed that my party mate Tiski's been killed. So I head over to his body to see if I can help him escape or something.
Fucked.
But something doesn't feel quite right. There's no one around. How could he have died? And that's when it happened. Oh no! It's fucking Bojangles!
There he is.
I dismount and use my blink move, but he's right on my tail, so I have to use Frost Nova. Now rogues have a bit of a habit of vanishing when you Nova them, so I'll start casting a fiber. He vanished.
Okay,
No. A couple good hits from his downwind and I'm done. Okay, it's time for my hidden
He vanishes?
A perfectly timed ice block protects me from danger and gives me some distance. So I hit him with a current cold to keep him off my back. And luckily, crippling poison doesn't proc.
And look at his gear.
I try to get a fat poly, but I'm blind. So it all comes down to this. I sit in blind and I wait.
He's gonna get the reset.
I'm spamming blink as fast as I can, praying he doesn't one-shot me, and then blink, poly.
Dude, he resisted the fucking kidney.
Yes.
He resisted the fucking kidney. Holy shit, dude. Or sorry, yeah, the Garrote.
Mount.
Wow.
Now you might think that running away isn't really considered a victory, but at least I didn't die, and that was enough to gain the respect of Bojangles and his peers. While all my friends were getting ganked in Menethil Harbor, I was laughing, sailing the seven seas, definitely not being killed by him the next attempt. It didn't happen. Dude. Now you may be wondering what this has to do with mage, so let's look at this situation.
So like he got outplayed by a level 46 mage, and for the rest of his time playing the game, this is what he has to deal with.
If I was a druid. So I'm walking through Feralus and fuck no. I mean, if you think about it, mage can do pretty much anything. The only thing mages can't really do is heal or go invisible. But with bandages, anyone can heal. And you can always use an invisibility potion to get away with some mischief if you need. I'd like to see a rogue use a blink potion. I mean, it's insane how much one single player can contribute to a fight in classic PvP.
Man, fuck off. That's a video. I know what this video is of. This is a video of them fucking beating us because they have more people. They had to show the clip of me losing. What a bunch of bullshit, man.
That clip by Venaruki was what made me make the final decision to play mage.
Shit, man!
Anyway, the way PvP works and contribute to a fight in classic PvP. This exact clip by Venaruki was what made me make the final decision.
Look, Motherfucker, dude. Like, this is exactly played by me. This is taken out of context 100%, dude. Let's be real.
Decision to play mage. Anyway, the way PvP works in Classic is a matter of rock, paper, scissors. Rogues are scissors, warriors are rocks, warlocks are fucking nukes that never die. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, here are the matchups.
That's great.
Ooh, yikes, not looking too hot, right? Well, if you assume you're a little better than the other player or you have the jump on them, you're probably gonna beat all of these classes because it's kind of an even match. And you can even beat some classes like a Shadow Priest if you're smart enough to outplay them.
Yeah,
wait, cut, no. Now, admittedly, most classes have weak and strong matchups, but Mage is special. First of all, surviving an encounter with a good rogue is something that few other classes can boast. But most importantly, you destroy warriors.
you. Man, no.
Now,
No, all right. So let's talk about this. It's not true. Like, if I go and I have a free action potion, and by the time fucking I get all my AQ gear, I'm gonna have so much stamina that the mages are gonna run out of health run out of mana trying to kill me. Like, I will become power consumable, by the way. Well, you'll just get sheeped, wait for them they have to sheep you afterwards. Listen, this is some bullshit. No wonder you guys want me to watch this, man. Fuck this shit.
Often have very large egos to compensate for their tiny swords. And warriors out in the wild don't have the easiest of lives, but nothing brings me more joy than crushing their macho ego with my tiny gnome address.
What? Fuck off.
As a mage, it is literally your duty to make the lives of each and every warrior you see a living hell.
No!
That soldier.
There's 2 armies sieging the Dragon Gate right now.
You're going to be winning a lot more fights as you're going to be
98 turns until attrition.
Oh, come on, man.
Awesome, dear friend, because when you look at a mage's weaknesses, you will see something truly terrifying.
What is it?
No, not warlocks and shadow priests. Everyone dies for those. I'm talking about this little fuck right here.
Yeah.
That's right. Mage loses to the worst.
That's about right, yeah. See, I can't imagine somebody who plays a druid unironically, man. Like, who plays a druid?
There must be improvement.
It's so weird.
Class in the game. You fucking heard me, druid mains. I fucking said it. Just as easily as you can destroy a warrior's ego, a druid can be waiting there to ravage, shred, and mangle yours.
Yeah,
but the upside is that druids are the least popular class, and ones that'll actually pose a threat to you are even fewer in numbers.
God.
Now, it's pretty fucking common knowledge that Mage's AoE is one of the major selling points of the class.
Yeah, something like that.
Seeing a group of enemies all stacked up in one nice clump is enough to make any mage arcane explode all over their keyboard.
Even though he's about to die.
However, in classic PvP, generally the side with more players will tend to win. But Mage has a better chance than any other to escape or win these fights. Take this clip, for example.
Okay.
I'm level 57.
Alright.
And for some reason, I'm AFK on this dirt road.
Yeah, something
when
like
suddenly, these 2 scallywags come along thinking they can tango. The rogue doesn't even bother to stun me, as he thinks I'm a free kill, so I blink out of their classic move. The priest dots me up, but I get a polymorph off and begin to book it.
There it is.
I manage to leave combat and mount up. But it's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen, as I see my opponent is a fast boy while I'm stuck with just a basic chicken. I scramble to find my carrot on a stick to gain any ground I can.
Oh my God.
But alas, it seems all hope is lost as Khal Drogo is pursuing me on his epic warhorse.
Yeah,
and I know it's only a matter of time before my little
man.
ass is his. But what's this? A level 35 rogue named Gangster in Western Playgrounds?
What?
My eyes must be deceiving me.
Oh,
however,
shit.
none of that actually matters because your average people.
Oh shit, man! He just hits him with the gouge. And like the thing is, like that's a hit in somebody who's level fucking 60. Like the chance of that shit getting parried is so high. What a fucking legend, man! Watch it again.
And playgrounds, my eyes must be deceiving me.
Look at him, dude. Boom! For the fucking Alliance.
However, none of that actually matters because your average PvP experience is gonna look something like this.
Yeah.
Does the spirit dragon approve?
Heavens, sir. The House of Secrets.
Yeah.
Grants rest.
Yeah, well, you forgot about arguing in Discord with people after you lose a game against a pre-made in the Arathi Basin.
Unless, of course, you join a pre-made, which is going to directly fucking conflict with your raiding and gold farming because you need to switch specs every single time you want to do a different task. If you want to raid, spend 50 gold. Oh, you want a PvP, 50 gold. Fuck, it's not fair. I am really not a fan
Imagine what it's like being a warrior.
But I do love PvPing. That's why I started Classic in the first place. So, is this it? Am I just destined to sit in BGs all day, ranking my life away?
Desert.
Yes.
Yes. But actually, no. For a long time, the script was just gonna harp on how terrible the ranking system was and how honor made PvP feel bad, especially because I wrote it just after I gave up on ranking. But after a much-needed break, I have discovered that you, in fact, do not need to be farming honor for PvP to be worth your time. You can, in fact, do it for fun.
That's not true. Okay,
let me tell you, no amount of honor is gonna beat killing some kid out in the world and then messaging him on Discord telling him what a fucking idiot he is. And White means a pretty high-pop server, so you're not gonna run out of targets anytime soon. So rise up, friends. Reject ranking. Embrace true PvP.
You don't need to rank anymore because of the fucking AQ gear, dude. Like, you don't even need to do that. Like, it's like you could need to rank back in a day, but like now, like, you don't really have to anymore. It's not as important.
Fuck mages. I've always hated mages. They're scum. Absolute scum.
Lest we forget the early days of Phase 2.
Yeah. Those were the days, man. Fuck, man. That was the worst time ever, man. Look at them all. Oh, shit. I like how there's just more and more people that just start, you know, start showing up. Holy shit, man. Jesus, dude. Rating? Oh yeah, this is gonna be a pretty long chapter, huh?
They needs them dead.
Oh, I got like the high. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was a short chapter. Damn, this guy. I was able to break this video pretty fucking well. I guess so. Oh, I saw how it works. Yeah, it's insane, man. We'll do. Yeah, we'll do Fall Guys after this. Chill.
Yeah. He's being annoying.
Now I'm sure you've heard that Mage has one of the easiest times with gold farming, but what literally every single person failed to fucking mention is that gold farming is the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah, that is also true.
Today we will build a gold farm for 10,000 gold per hour, and by the end of it, you're gonna fucking kill yourself. Holy shit! If you
I'm not really sure how, because my control is fine.
Yeah, it sucks.
Maybe this is more of a personal gripe. Being European playing on a US server didn't help much either.
Oh yeah,
I'd say that my biggest issue with gold farming is that it requires your full attention. I just want to binge watch YouTube while playing video games all day. Is this too much to ask?
That's what I do.
My life is so hard. If only there was a way to make gold without even moving.
Streaming. Start streaming.
Can you give me a portal to Stormwind? I will tip you 3 gold.
No.
It'd suck if I came over there and did absolutely nothing and died to your garrison.
Okay, I guess. Slop, 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 mel, mel.
Discovering that I could make a full-time business by selling my Gamer Girl P was truly a turning point in my WoW career. Some days I would just log on to WoW and not move an inch, just selling water. Are you really a mage if you don't create 12 pages of lore about your life as a vending machine, complete?
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, wait, what the fuck? I don't know if I can even read that. But yeah, there was like Gamer Girl P. Well, yeah, there were like, there's like a mage on like my server that was talking about selling Gamer Girl mage water and shit. It was really fucking popular.
With a deviant art character drawing with huge tits and a tragic backstory but also dark powers. My personal vending machine original roleplay character, Please Do Not Steal, was a young gnome girl trying to make her way in the world with just a camera and an internet connection. Subscribe to my Gnomely fans for more information. Look man, if you're gonna sit in one spot for 12 hours a day, at least have some fun with it. But this is
I want to just also emphasize the fact that the spot that he's standing in is one of the spots that I told people he's actually supposed to stand on the other side, but it's one of the spots that I told people to stand at in my How to Be an Elitist video.
No. Mages do stand on that.
Yeah, I know that, but like I made that video like 6 years ago. So I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying.
In one spot for 12 hours a day, at least have some fun with it. But this is where my tale takes a dark turn, ladies and gentlemen. I did something truly unspeakable. I thought to myself, hey, if I can make gold without moving, why can't I get honor without moving? So I went into Altaric Valley and that was it. I was banned for 1 whole week. At first I was outraged.
I mean, you can't do, man. What are you like, man, dude, is this shit so broken? Like, it's so bad. How can you really, like, I honestly, anybody who account shared or anybody who botted in Classic WoW for PvP, for honor system, I don't hold that against them at all. The system sucks.
Our supremacy.
And they're doing what they can. They're doing what they can. I don't hold that. Hairline, shut up. Man, shut up.
Because it meant I was going to miss 2 raids. But this, of course, led me to the true mage endgame.
I quit the game for 6 months. Yeah, this is actually the end. That's the classic WoW game. Oh, shit.
Open cell 9. I'm speaking to you as a reformed man. My time in the slammer has given me plenty of space to reflect.
It's good.
I used to spend a lot of time optimizing the fun out of the game, with hours of ranking or getting world buffs for passes. I was angry a lot of the time at my raid members for not playing optimally or getting my fucking loot. And then one day I quit. I had had enough. For a long time I did nothing and just chalked WoW up as a bad game.
Yeah,
but then I realized my entire time in Classic WoW, every decision I made, the friends I chose, the guilds I joined, the class I made, was all to fuel my incredibly fragile ego. To confirm that yes, I am in fact good at this 15-year-old video game, and god damn it, I will prove it. And that makes me a better person than you. I'm sure you've met plenty of me.
I guess this guy must go on the Classic WoW Reddit.
Is like me. Is it really that simple? Did I just roll this class not because it was right for me, but because I saw Venruki bang some scrub out? Did I pick this class?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Right for me, but because I saw Venruki bang some scrub out this class, not because it was right for me, but because I saw Venruki bang some scrub out. Did I pick this class just because a guide said it was good?
Yeah.
Can I even make decisions for myself anymore?
No.
Has Classic WoW just been some elaborate railroad where I followed the masses for big numbers?
Yeah.
Am I just a sheep?
Yes.
Am I real? Oh no, I'm not real. A mage would never reflect on their interpersonal demons.
That's good.
Power in
Then I came back and I played the game for just a week. I did some random BGs for fun. I hung out with my—
I like how what is obviously like the endearing part of the game is like the first combat and the first gameplay that you see about endearing gameplay is him killing 2 level 35s in Hillsbrad Foothills with the Onyxia bow. Like, that's like, you know, he comes back to the game, he's like, you know what, he kills them. You know what, this game's not too bad after all.
Outcast.
I did some random BGs for fun. I hung out with my friends, PvPing. I did a couple of ZG pokes, and I realized maybe it wasn't so bad after all. So I adopted sort of a new philosophy. Now I'm a very competitive person, so I figured it's time to pass happiness, boys. I am never getting another fucking world buff in my entire goddamn life. So, with all the highs and the lows, when all the cards are laid out on the table and you can see your entire mage experience so clearly before you, ask yourself, if you could start over, would you do it all over again? Is mage the best class in the game? Yes, it is. I'm leveling my second mage. It's Pont on white main. P-O-N-T, send me gold. And my main, it's Pint, P-I-N-T. That's Pint on white main alliance. Also my retail character is Pont on Zoldrian US. Please send me gold there too. Like and subscribe. Bye.
What's wrong with you? How
Hi,
do you do that?
it's me, Pint. Long time no see.
Wait, he made that video, the classic WoW dude.
So if you enjoyed this video,
Yeah, he did.
go check out my
Holy
Patreon.
shit.
I make editing tutorials and shit over there. Now, for excuses, I had to build a computer halfway through this video and my fucking mic broke, and this style of content took way longer to make than I thought it would. I rewrote the script like 5 times, and on top of all that, I was lazy. So I fucking
can relate to
promise
the
it
last
won't
part.
take as long next time. I thank you for sticking around, man. Thank you for watching this far. I took a big risk with this style of content. Cool, bye.
What a great video. I love this video. I'm even gonna like and subscribe to it. I'm gonna link you guys the video. This is a really well done video. I like it a lot.
What do you? What?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna like. This is. Oh, he spent. It's a 20-minute video, man.
But he tried to use. Yeah, but he knew you were gonna react, and he tried to use that to try to get gold for his characters, man.
Well, I mean, how can I complain about that whenever he does the same thing? I do the same thing. Like, that's okay.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait for Asmon Bald to react to this. Oh, that's great, dude. Maybe he will inflate his puny sub count. Hey, I lost 7,000 subs whenever I took a break, man. That was. I call him. This Elden Ring farm is crazy good. It gives 41k souls per run, which takes between 1 to 2 minutes, or even quicker than that, depending on how fast you can beat the enemies here. It's by far the fastest one we've found. I'm going to share with you guys exactly how you can get here and farm this for yourself. First up, really quickly, the Golden Scarab is a talisman that you can get that gives you around 20% extra souls, so it's great for any kind of farm like this. You can find it here on the map by jumping down this cliff into the cave, running all the way through the cave to the boss room, and beating them will give you this talisman. It's a little bit tricky and isn't the easiest thing to do, but if you do plan to farm efficiently, you will want to get this. So to start this whole process off, you need to talk to the guy at the very start of the game near the point of grace when you first come out of the cave, or you can come back here and inspect the message on the floor after beating Godric. To do this farm, you will have to have beaten Godric. This is an important part, as you cannot proceed into this quest line without beating him. So once you finish talking to him, you will then need to go to the Rose Church, which is in Liurna, and meet the NPC there again. He'll give you a dialogue option, and you need to say that the 2 fingers seemed off in the option, and by doing this, he will then give you 5 festering bloody fingers, which is an item that you can use in your inventory to invade other players. This is where it gets slightly interesting or bad, depending on if you like PvP, because you will have to use this 3 times in order to continue this quest, in order to get to the farm area. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, but from my experience, it was mostly 1 versus 2 or 3, so just have fun with it. The odds are you're probably going to lose if you're going against 3 people. After this, talk to the NPC once again, and this time he will give you the Lord of Blood's Favor, which is an item, a piece of cloth, that you must dip in the blood of a maiden in order to do this next phase. But don't worry, we've already found the maiden, so all you need to do is go to the Church of Inhibition, but do be wary in this area, as you will build up madness as you're running through to try and get here, and just before you get into this actual church, you will be invaded by an NPC that you then need to kill, so be prepared when you get there. But once you get inside, there will be a sacred tier for you to upgrade your flask, but also you can get the Finger Maiden armor set, as well as here is where you use the quest item in order to douse it with blood to take back to the NPC once again. So head back to the Rose Church, give him the quest item, and then offer him your finger. By doing this, you will get the bloody finger, but you will also get the Pure Knight's medal when you talk to him again after that. This is where it gets fun, because this item will now teleport you to Mogwen's palace, which is where this farm will take place. But before you can farm, you will need to get to the grace point so you can respawn here and be very close to it. Basically, run where I go and be wary. There's a lot of enemies, so run fast and don't get stuck on anything, but follow the route I go to until you get to the point of grace.
Sent by our ancestors.
The Celestial Blacksmith.
Once you're at the point of grace, this is now your respawn point, because all you need to do is kill the big cluster of enemies that are right near it, and each one will offer you 2,000 souls or 2,400 souls if you have the gold scarab.
This is absolutely fantastic. You can repeat it over and over, and it gets faster each time you level up because you'll be stronger and killing them quicker. AoE things are very useful here, but use what works for you and just kill them as quickly as you can, rinse and repeat. I went up so many levels here in literally only a couple of runs. This is such a fantastic farming spot. If you do use this farming spot, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. 2 fingers seemed off in the option, and by doing this he will then give you 5 festering bloody fingers, which is an item that you can use in your inventory to invade other players. This is where it gets slightly interesting or bad depending on if you like PvP, because you will have to use this 3 times in order to continue this quest in order to get to the farm area. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, but from my experience it was mostly 1 versus 2 or 3, so just have fun with it. The odds are you're probably going to lose if you're going against 3 people. After this, talk to the NPC once again, and this time he will give you the Lord of Blood's Favor, which is an item, a piece of cloth, that you must dip in the blood of a maiden in order to do this next phase. But don't worry, we've already found the maiden, so all you need to do is go to the Church of Inhibition, but do be wary in this area as you will build up madness as you're running through to try and get here, and just before you get into this actual church, you will be invaded by
the
NPC
dragon
that you then
blooded
need to kill, so be prepared when you get there. But once you get inside, there will be a sacred tier for you to upgrade your flask, but also you can get the Finger Maiden armor set, as well as here is where you use the quest item in order to douse it in blood to take back to the NPC once again. So head back to the Rose Church, give him the quest item, and then offer him your finger. By doing this, you will get the bloody finger, but you will also get the Pure Knight's medal when you talk to him again after that. This is where it gets fun, because this item will now teleport you to Mogwen's palace, which is where this farm will take place. But before you can farm, you will need to get to the grace point so you can respawn here and be very close to it. Basically, run where I go and be wary. There's a lot of enemies, so run fast and don't get stuck on anything. Follow the route I go to until you get to the point of grace.
Cafe Eton.
Once you're at the point of grace, this is now your respawn point, because all you need to do is kill the big cluster of enemies that are right near it, and each one will offer you 2,000 souls or 2,400 souls if you have the gold scarab. This is absolutely fantastic. You can repeat it over and over, and it gets faster each time you level up because you'll be stronger and killing them quicker. AoE things are very useful here, but use what works for you and just kill them as quickly as you can, rinse and repeat. I went up so many levels here in literally only a couple of runs. This is such a fantastic farming spot. If you do use this farming spot, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below, and let us know in the comments if you found this helpful. We have other guides, farms, locations on the screen right now for you to click on if you want to learn more about Elden Ring and improve your playthrough.
Fight in order to run.
What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today, Halo Infinite is testing my patience. So, it has officially been 3 months since the multiplayer came out, and prior to release, 343 boasted that this was going to be a live service game, and my first thought was, oh no. Unfortunately, things have not turned out the way I and many other people have expected it to. Now, what is a live service? Well, think about games like Apex Legends, Destiny, Fortnite, League of Legends. Games that are free and get constant updates that bring new features to the table and keep the game ever fresh. In the years leading up to Infinite, we were told it was part of a 10-year plan. It's the start of our platform for the future. The next 10 years of Halo. No more sequels. In many ways, 343 has succeeded with making a satisfying game that feels like Halo and goes back to its roots. But they haven't succeeded in providing the live service they promised. That's what we're going to talk about today. But I hear you saying, Actman, what can we do about the state of Halo Infinite?
What can we do? What can we do?
You can subscribe to a different live service. A service of audio. By getting a pair of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Raycons. It's practically my catchphrase at this point. But I gotta tell you how perfect and comfy these things fit in my ears. And the optimized gel tips will fit in any kind of ear. And yet no matter how many times I bash my head against the wall, they don't fall out. With 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, I just might have enough time to beat the first boss in Elden Ring. The price is fair, and you're getting premium audio quality at half the price of other brands. It should be no surprise why Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 48,000 5-star reviews. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself a pair of the Raycon everyday earbuds today. And if you do, I'll give you 15% off your entire order if you use my super secret link in the description and pinned comment, buyraycon.com/actman. That's buyraycon.com/actman. Thank you.
In today's Elden Ring video, we're gonna take a look at some of the biggest mistakes that you could be doing right now. I was guilty of some of them quite early on and kind of wish somebody was there to tell me to avoid these and also some headaches in the process. Be it if you want to like make your character stronger, become better at the game, or just have a better progression and a better time in Elden Ring, we're gonna cover all of that in today's video. Now, being too cocky early on was one of the biggest mistakes that I was guilty of. Trying to go to Godric, for example, right away, thinking I could just skill my way out of it. Well, proves that I'm not that skillful at the game at the end of the day, but the game will heavily punish you if you take too long to kill bosses, or if you need that extra inch of mana or extra flask of HP before they defeat you. And instead, what you should do is to focus on building up your character first. Go ahead and do some of the easier open world and dungeon encounters that are quite plentiful even in the starting areas. Also, go ahead and get more runes in the process to boost up your stats and level up your character. I've covered that in yesterday's video, so you can definitely go ahead and check that out too. Now, if you get one-shotted by enemies, also invest some points into vigor or endurance so that you can either tank that damage or at least dodge away. My main rule is to get at least 10 to 15 levels before going to the first main boss, and also get everything ready to reduce my chances of like just repeating that fight way too many times. Obviously, if you're the type of player who can one-shot any boss in the game naked while playing a banjo, obviously just go ahead and do it like that, but like for 99% of the people, it's probably not going to be the case. Now, if you still have trouble with these bosses, you can summon really powerful allies for that specific fight if you talk to these like special characters right before heading in the boss room. For example, in the case of Margit, you can find a golden summon right here onto the right side of the room for Rogier, which is a mage that can help you against the fight.
There he goes.
And the same goes for the Godric boss
all
fight.
those
Pretty much most of
ogres.
the boss fights right there for the main ones. Similarly, at the same Stormveil Castle, another example early on in the courtyard leading to the boss fight, you will find Fally Lux over here, a really strong warrior, and of course, after a brief discussion, you can also summon her at the boss entrance, and she is going to be of immense help. In all of these situations, these allies are very useful and quite powerful, but of course, you still have to be careful to not let them die. I'm not exactly sure what happens if they die. They never have done on me at the very least, but these are characters you can then talk to, and they even give you like rewards at the round table, so you might still want to like pull your weight in these boss fights. Which brings us to number 2, and that's the fact that you should not skip on the jellyfish summons. On your way towards the Stormveil Castle, you will find a shack with a Roderica inside of it. Well, if you just go through her dialogues about 3 times, eventually she will give you this seemingly innocent looking summon of a jellyfish. And one of the biggest mistakes I was guilty of early on was to completely dismiss this right away, because well, jellyfish are generally weak enemies, and on the opposite side we also had the wolves that until recently were my favorite. Well, it turns out that it's the other way around, and the jellyfish is way stronger than I initially anticipated. It's probably not gonna do a lot more damage or stagger than the wolves, but it has other way bigger advantages. One of them is the fact that its much larger HP pool than the wolves means that it's going to survive for way longer in fights, which is exactly what you need from these spirits that you use to like distract the boss in the first place anyway. Second of all, it also has a long range attack, meaning that it can pull aggro pretty much from the other side of the room or pretty much the area. And finally, it floats over the ground instead of being on the ground level, making it sometimes completely bypass or at least mitigate AoE spell attacks. Like for example, in the boss fight against the dragon, this creature resisted so many hits hits, especially from the flame attacks, that it completely distracted the boss for the entire duration of the fight, so it was pretty much an easy target that I could pick off right away. Anyway, on a related note, this brings us to number 3, and you can actually buff your summons to make them way more powerful, and you can do so back at the round table by simply speaking to Roderica once more, but there are a few prerequisites. The first one is you have to finish the fight with Margit so that he is defeated and Roderica can make her way to the round table. After that, you have to go ahead and speak with her right here next to the round table and make sure you exhaust all of the dialogue options. Once that's done, head over to the hallway and speak with the blacksmith right here and choose the dialogue option about Roderica. And kinda have to go like between these two NPCs a couple of times, just make sure you kinda exhaust all of these options for both of them, and once you're done with that, simply teleport back to the round table, and now she's going to like give you the option to upgrade the spirit. And yes, it's going to require some special items and some runes, but you can make them way more powerful, and you will eventually get these as you progress through the game anyway. But moving on to number 4, let's talk about another big mistake that you might be guilty of right now, which is not being aggressive enough. It's important to be cautious on your first playthrough until you get used to the combat and the enemy attacks, but being more aggressive is just as important as being defensive in Elden Ring. Many encounters in Elden Ring are designed in a way you simply cannot dodge or block your way out of them, and doing so means you will be losing that fight. Instead, for any enemy that's highly aggressive and constantly overwhelms you with attacks, that's their actual weakness, which is why in these situations I recommend you to step in on the counter attack and be as close as possible to the enemy. Oftentimes you will notice that their attacks will completely bypass you simply because you're quote-unquote hugging them. And even if it comes at the cost of trading a few blows here and there, which is unavoidable, you should not be deterred from playing aggressively during these moments. Similarly, I fully recommend the jump power attack when especially playing a melee class. If you're unsure what the enemy is about to do next, a jumping power attack will almost never fail you. It's an amazing damage dealer, it's very fast even with heavy weapons, and it can lead up to stagger break, opening up enemies to critical hits. Similarly, there's a couple other tips that I have for a few more enemies. For example, for the spear wielders, you can pretty much wait their charge attack and then slightly move to the right side and circle them back to reach their exposed backs and pretty much do a critical strike over there, which is like super easy to pull off against them. For bosses which have one-handed attacks, just pay attention which like arm they use and hold onto the side opposite of where that weapon is. Like for example, in this case, if the enemy is using their right hand to attack you, I usually stay to their left foot so that I can pretty much hug it and avoid most of that damage. It's something that I pretty much picked up from the previous Souls games. This brings us to number 5, and speaking of weapons and special moves, let's talk about a big mistake that you might be doing right now regarding them, and that's adding an Ash of War to a weapon, which in the process could remove a more powerful default ability that that weapon might have. For example, the Uchigatana that the Samurai class starts with at the beginning of the game has the Unsheathed skill by default, which should never be replaced. If you put anything like an Ash of War on that weapon, that's gonna be gone and you're essentially losing a really powerful attack early on. And there's very few things in the game that should warrant you replacing that Unsheathed attack, especially for something like the Uchigatana. Another thing to note is, depending on the class and the build, there are multiple types of Ashes of War in the game that you might want to apply to your weapon in the detriment of others. Basically, there are different categories depending on the stats that they scale with and the provided effects. So some of the basic Ashes of Wars are the Standard, Keen, Quality, and Heavy. Standard follows the weapon's original scaling, so it doesn't really change anything. Keen increases Dexterity scaling but decreases strength and base weapon damage. Quality is more balanced approach for strength and dexterity, and finally Heavy scales strength but decreases the other stats, especially that dexterity. So depending on the class, depending which stat you focus on, you will want to pick that one or the other. At the same time, there's also special variations like the Magic and the Cold Ashes of War, which provide you with intelligence scaling and also add a magic effect. And there's plenty more, like for example, Lightning adds shock damage but also increases dexterity. Fire adds the fire effect but reduces scaling. So you kind of have to be careful and look exactly what stats decrease, what increase, and what effect you're getting on top of that, and that's how you build your character. Which also brings us to number 6. Let's talk a bit about mounted combat and weapon wielding tips. Especially for the mount, you don't just get to attack on the right side, you can also attack to the left side. On the controller it's the easiest. You can also use L1 and R1 and you can attack to the other side of the mount in case you're like not noticing this. I didn't until recently and I feel like a complete fool. Another one is for switching weapons to two-handed or mixing out weapons. But even more important tip, because some weapons have special abilities only when being dual wielded. The easiest way to do this on the controller is to just hold triangle and then press either R1 or L1 depending which weapon you want to dual wield, assuming that you have like 2 weapons in each of the slots. Moving on to number 7, if you're playing with a spellcaster and you're feeling restricted by the spell slots, you can actually expand upon these with some upgrades called memory stones. The earliest you can find is going to be located east side of the Weeping Peninsula, right here at this rise tower on the map. You have to first break the seal to make your way inside of the tower, which is going to be done super easily. Just interact with the statue at the bottom of the stairs, which will give you a clue, and that is to slay 3 spirit turtles. The first 2 will be located right by the stairs, one in front of them and the other one hiding on the side in vegetation. And finally the third one will be located in the middle of this lake right next to the tower, likely invisible, so you'll have to go straight into the middle and use a melee attack. Once that's done, you can head your way to the tower all the way to the top floor, and inside of it you're going to find the chest that gives you the memory stone, which immediately unlocks an extra spell slot, and there's gonna be quite a few more in the game. And this, ladies and gents, brings us to the final point on the list, and that's gonna be about the divine power. Once you defeat Godric and some of the other main bosses in the game, you're gonna get great runes from them, which boost up stats or give you other bonuses.
This is totally under control.
Also boss remembrances. Now, similar to Dark Souls 3,
how's the
you're
battle
gonna have
going?
these runes at first, losing their power after defeating the bosses, but you need to restore them. So once you have defeated Godric,
totally
what you
running.
do is to head over to the
That-
main courtyard.
when you
back
say the
at
word
the
totally,
Stonewall
that makes me
Castle.
think you're
and
not.
in this specific area with the annoying ranged enemies, you're gonna want to like just pass them real quick and then head over to the white side building right here, while also passing the lion mini boss, or you can take it down, but I suggest passing it for now. Here you will want to make your way over the bridge all the way up into the back side and
Most
then
definitely.
use the teleporter, which will bring you to the tower. Once there, make your way to the top, and here is where you will pretty much be able to remake the great runes,
Press X to
especially the
down?
one for Godric. And by the way, this seems to increase all of your stats, or at the very least that's what it says according to its description. Once that's done, also make sure you head back to the round table, because once you defeated Godric, you're going to notice a new room has opened. This one right here with the 2 fingers behind it, and of course the witch sitting on the side. Talking to this character will give you the possibility to use that boss remembrance to acquire one of the multiple weapon choices right here, which is going to be for any boss you defeat in the game, of course in terms of main bosses. And you can choose either one or the other. One of them also costs some extra runes, but obviously you can only pick one of them since you only have one remembrance, so this implies you're gonna have to run a second playthrough and maybe pick something else next time for a different character. This is it pretty much with the biggest mistakes that I was guilty of. Totally let me know down below if there's any others that you were guilty of and corrected, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Play through Elden Ring, you'll inevitably run up against bosses or areas that will humble you. In these moments, it's important to remember that these obstacles are often there by design. They do not block the path, they are the path. Through skill or creativity, or just by coming back later, you can overcome any obstacle in this game, and this video will give you all the tools you need to do so. Before you do anything else, you should try to master the basics of combat. At the core of combat is your stamina bar. This resource is depleted when you perform the actions necessary for fighting. For example, sprinting, dodging, blocking attacks, attacking, all of these
There's
things.
too many of them.
require stamina.
There is,
Next,
indeed.
let's talk about the proper flow of
a
combat.
large
While
quantity
locked on
of
with
ogres.
L3, keep your shield raised with L1. This will prevent damage from any attacks that are too fast for you to react to. As you block them, your stamina bar will be depleted, so make sure to drop your shield in between attacks.
I'm in
regain
danger.
That stamina faster.
You're gonna always be in
Now,
danger
blocking
against these
fast attacks
ogres.
often doesn't deplete too much of your stamina, but blocking slow attacks is often a different story, and a lot of them can easily break your guard, leaving you wide open. Thus,
Dead.
if you think you can anticipate a slow attack or a series of attacks, it's often better to roll through them instead. Rolls have invincibility frames that nullify all damage if you press the roll button around the instant where you would have been hit. And while this is more difficult to do than blocking, avoiding damage in this way is way more
The
stamina
banner got
efficient.
thrown like 50 feet on one of my archers.
Make sure that you stay below 70%
Look at ogre, man.
so that your rolls stay fast and effective.
Ogres are
As you fight an enemy,
tough
pay special
front
attention
line
to their
dudes,
animations and
They're
try to
all
memorize their
monsters.
moveset. Over time, you will learn the best
High
way
mats.
to avoid certain attacks
Plus
and
they have
where
the
their
ogre
openings
turret
lie.
straight.
So
All
learn to
of them.
fight with a mixture of both blocks
Sucks
and
you can't
rolls. As a
like
general
build your
rule,
own caravan
fast
teams.
attacks and roll through slow attacks. By fighting efficiently in this
just
way,
choose how to
you'll
load
avoid
levels
damage and still have stamina left over to deal damage while the boss or enemy is left open. A new way to deal damage in Elden Ring is with guard counters, which are a core part of Elden Ring's combat and essentially allow you to weaponize your own defense. So shortly after successfully blocking an attack, you can retaliate by tapping R2 and performing a guard counter attack. These counters are extremely powerful. If you recognize an opportunity to safely perform one, you should. They deal great damage, and many lesser enemies will immediately have their super armor broken, opening them up for a critical attack with R1. But what is super armor? Well, it's an invisible meter that enemies and bosses have. It depletes when they take damage, and when you fully deplete this meter and break their super armor, you can perform a critical attack by tapping R1. As a rule of thumb, any R2 attack will do more super armor damage. Jumping R2 attacks do a lot, running R2 attacks are great too, but fully charged R2 attacks seem to do the most. Also worth noting is that super armor
Those hunters are pretty good.
generates over time. Therefore, it's important that you continually deal damage to your enemies.
Hunters,
If you
man.
sense a boss is close to breaking point,
They're
go on the
great.
offensive with your R2 attacks. Try to do a lot of super armor damage in a short period of time. Often, you'll be rewarded. On the other hand, if you're just looking to do consistent damage, well, tapping R1 is probably the way to go. R1 attacks generally come out much faster, they combo longer, and they're not as risky to perform. And if you really want to prioritize damage over defense, then you can two-hand your weapon. The input for this is to hold triangle or Y and tap R1 or L1 to two-hand your right-hand item or left-hand item, respectively. In addition to granting you a new moveset, you will have more strength, more damage, more super armor damage, and you can often avoid recoil when striking an enemy's shield. So if your shield just isn't helping much with an encounter, consider two-handing for damage instead. Now while you two-hand, you'll mostly be dodging for defense in this state. That said, it's worth noting that you can still block while two-handing, and while you'll take some chip damage because a weapon isn't as good as a shield is for blocking, it's still a good idea to block in many situations, or at least to keep your guard up, especially if you want to utilize guard counters. Another offensive alternative to two-handing is power stancing, which can be achieved by equipping two weapons of the same class, one in each hand. With this, you'll get access to a special L1 attack that utilizes both weapons. Just like your R1 attacks, your L1 attacks do a combo of strikes and can be utilized in jumping attacks as well. Speaking of jumping attacks, they're incredible gap closers, allowing you to cover distance and cue an attack simultaneously. If an enemy is left open but you're kind of far away, just close the distance with a jumping attack and see how effective they can be. Jumping R1 attacks are generally better for flying or mounted enemies, and jumping R2 attacks are generally better if you want to inflict damage and posture damage on grounded enemies. Damage can be healed with your flask of Crimson Tears,
I've got
which
this.
will always replenish when you walk or sit.
You're almost there.
Checkpoint. Additionally, you can get extra flask charges by clearing out a group of enemies, or by defeating these small red creatures. At Grace checkpoints, you can upgrade your flask with golden seeds and sacred tears. Golden seeds are found at minor Erd trees and
you think
increase
you're gonna
the
win
amount
that?
of flasks you can carry. Sacred tears
You
are
sure?
found at churches of Marika and increase the amount healed by your flask.
Peasant archers.
Furthermore, you can balance the allotment of crimson flasks versus cerulean flasks at a point of grace to better suit your needs. To quickly access your crimson healing flask at any time, consider making it the first item on your quick select bar. This way, if you hold down on the D-pad, you'll always shortcut to it instantly. At the top of the D-pad, you'll be able to
choose this arm.
They just have far too much frontline units compared to your 4 frontline units.
Incantations, which must be
That
cast
sucks, that was
with
my
an
highest
equipped
level
seal,
caravan
or
guy.
sorceries, which must be cast with an equipped
you
staff.
want military lines
Cycle
and
through
baby
your
form?
equipped armaments by pressing
you,
left or right on the D-pad. If you die, then you'll drop all of your runes at your point of death. If you don't pick them up during your next life, then they'll be gone forever. Make sure to seek them out using your compass whenever you can, or invest them in items or your own character. When you do die, you can choose to resurrect at a site of grace, or sometimes at a stake of Marika. If you see this statue, or this icon, then it's probably an indication that you're in a difficult area, or near a boss, as a stake of Marika is nearby. Respawning at a stake of Marika will usually make your run back to your runes less severe, so it's often best to choose that option, unless you prefer to move on from what killed you. If you're out in the open world, one way to overcome difficulty is by choosing the right scenarios to fight on your mount. Against large or mounted enemies that struggle against hit and run tactics, the mount is definitely the way to go. While mounted, R1 and R2 give you light and heavy attacks on the right side, and L1 and L2 give light and heavy attacks on your left side. If you hold your heavy attack input, then you can charge them up, dealing continuous damage while you charge, which culminates in a strong attack at the end. While mounted, you automatically wield the armament in your right hand. If you would prefer to wield the armament in your left hand, use a two-handing input, so hold triangle or Y, and then tap L1 or R1. Your mount can take damage separately from you, but his damage can be healed by your crimson flasks, as well as by craftable rower raisins. As you get hit on your mount, you run the risk of losing your own super armor and getting knocked down for an extended period of time. If this happens, you are extremely vulnerable. If you're taking damage, then at a certain point, no matter what you're fighting, it's probably wise to dismount and fight them on foot for a little while. Jumping attacks off your horse are a great way to transition into melee combat. Dismount with L3 and slam them with L1, R1, or R2. The distance you cover with this is absurd, and initiating a fight in this way gives you an immediate advantage. As the fight goes on, consider if mounting up again for a burst of speed would be to your benefit. Against this flying dragon, for example, certain attacks are better off being outpaced on a mount. For a reliable way to mount up quickly, I would recommend binding your Spectral Steed Whistle to your pouch, a secondary D-pad menu that can be edited in the menu screen. You can quickly access all 4 of these bindings by holding down triangle or Y, then tapping the appropriate D-pad button. This way, you'll have a consistent input for mounting up, instead of toggling rapidly through your items looking for your whistle. This same logic applies to any other item you want quick, reliable access to, like weapon buffs or poison cures. In addition to your double jump for extra height, be on the lookout for spirit springs, which take you to incredible heights. Conversely, you can safely jump into a spirit spring to negate all fall damage. While on your mount, L3 dismounts you, but when on foot, L3 can be used for stealth. In this crouched state, enemy aggro range is reduced, and you'll have an easier time getting R1 backstabs. Enemy aggro range is also reduced at night, so consider passing time at a site of grace to better suit your needs. At night, however, you might also find different enemies spawning in the world, so be aware of that. Another thing to get in the habit of is crafting, which you can do as soon as you buy the crafting kit from Kale at the Church of Elden. After this, the crafting tab in your menu screen will unlock for use. After a few hours of play, you should have accumulated a few recipe books to expand your crafting options, and if you've been hunting and foraging between bosses, then you'll be able to make a lot of great items. Pay attention to what material drops you're finding in the world. It'll make it that tiny bit easier to gather more of it when you realize you need it to craft something specific. The crafting page gives you hints at where to find specific materials, and most world materials respawn instantly upon resting at a grace, making them fairly easy to farm. Oh, and while you're at Kale, grab a torch to help you see in dark caves, and when you find one of Kale's fellow merchants on a beach southwest of the Church of Ella, grab a bow as well. Ranged weapons are excellent utility tools, allowing you to lure, poison, or sleep enemies from afar. There are two types of bow weapons, bows and crossbows, which use arrows or bolts respectively. Enter precision aiming mode with L1 while two-handing the bow, and press R1 to fire the projectile in the first slot, and R2 to fire the projectile in the second slot. So thinking creatively with craftable items or using utility items like bows, that's a great way to overcome difficulty. But sometimes you might just feel like your damage is too low. And in that situation, you'll have to reinforce your weapon, which can be done at the Church of Ella at the smithing table. Here, you'll be able to get most armaments to +3 with smithing stone shards that are found throughout the world. That said, special armaments require other special shards, and to go beyond +3, you'll need to find an actual blacksmith. Alternatively, if you aren't happy with your shield, take a look at its stats. The most reliable shields are those that block 100% physical damage, but you can consider switching shields to suit specific encounters. The other stat you'll want to look at is guard boost. Higher guard boost means you'll take less of a stamina hit when you block. Upgrading an armament is a bit of a commitment. You can always find more smithing stone shards in caves and around the world, but these are fairly rare, so make sure you really enjoy swinging a weapon before you upgrade it. Of course, a weapon also has to suit your build. Your build is determined by what stats you decide to level at a grace checkpoint when you summon Melina and invest your runes with her. When you start the game, you'll have to choose a starting character. Some use magic, some have ranged weapons, and some excel in melee, but it's important to remember that your starting class does not dictate your build, you do. While each character's starting stats give them different strengths and weaknesses, you are free to build your character in any direction from this point. If you haven't settled on a build yet, then you can't go too wrong by just leveling Vigor for HP and resistance, Endurance for stamina and equipment load, or Mind to increase your focus points. But it's the other stats that make a real impact on your character archetype. Strength, for example, mostly affects your ability to wield heavy armaments, as well as your defense. Strength weapons are often slow, so being a lot more tanky will come in handy. Another stat to look out for is poise, which will raise as you put on heavier armor, and having high poise will often prevent you getting interrupted mid-attack, which is really good for slow weapons. Dexterity is the counterpart to strength, and it raises your ability to wield a lot of lighter armaments, boosting their attack power. It also softens fall damage, makes it harder for you to be knocked off your horse, and reduces the casting time of spells. Spells usually scale in damage with intelligence or faith. Intelligence generally boosts the damage of sorceries, while faith generally boosts the damage and healing of incantations. Arcane is also a new attribute in Elden Ring, and it governs your discovery stat, which increases enemy item drop rates. It's also a stat that increases the damage of certain sorceries and incantations, and can play into the stat scaling of certain weapons as well. Every weapon comes with a default
Another one of those demon lords spawned on my capital.
However, one thing you can do is apply an Ash of War to your weapon, which allows you to choose a more beneficial damage type and more beneficial scaling options for that weapon. Beyond their scaling options though, Ashes of War can be used to apply skills to your armaments. Once applied, L2 will unleash their effects, and you can always see which skill you will perform with L2 here. To apply an Ash of War, be sure to pick up the whetstone knife in a cellar at the Gatefront ruins. After this, sit at a grace checkpoint and experiment with your options. Often, these skills will default to your shield's applied Ash of War, unless you two-hand your weapon or use a shield without a special skill. These attacks are very powerful, and even require a small amount of focus points to use. Your FP is represented here in this blue bar. This is a really valuable resource, especially for magic builds which also rely on it to cast spells. That said, all builds can and should find a use for FP. And if you're having trouble in Elden Ring, you should always be thinking of an effective way to make use of this resource. Another powerful way to make use of FP is by summoning spirits. Once you acquire the summoning bell early in the game, you'll be able to equip spirits on your quick select bar and summon them for difficult encounters. As long as you have enough FP, and as long as this rebirth monument symbol marks the encounter as difficult, then your spirits will fight alongside you until death. Some are ranged attackers, some are tanky, and some are a combination of both. Decide what works best for your build and what works best for the encounter as well. Only one type of spirit can be summoned at a time, and spirits cannot be summoned during multiplayer. Speaking of multiplayer, if you're having trouble, be on the lookout for Furl Calling Finger Remedies, which you can find throughout the world. Once consumed, these allow you to see other players' summon signs and summon help for major encounters. That said, you'll always be able to see NPC summon signs, so feel free to make good use of them. Alternatively, other players' signs can be accessed in summoning pools located at summoning effigies that are placed in key areas. If you want to learn more about engaging in multiplayer, read the items on your multiplayer tab in the menu screen. In general, if there's a tip that you want to read again that popped up, you can find all of those in your inventory menu all the way at the end. Last but not least is your map. Revealing the map for an area will make it way easier to progress through the game. Map fragments can be collected at these glowing guide stels. If you're having trouble finding one in an unfamiliar area, try to stick to the main path, or failing that, try to look for this shape on your undiscovered map. With the map open, you can mark points of interest with markers or beacons that show up in the overworld. You can also fast travel between sites of Lost Grace or get a clearer idea of the direction that the main story requires. Rays of light will guide you on that path and often lead you towards your next logical checkpoint. Of course, it's up to you if you want to trust the guidance of Grace. If you're having trouble with the main path, just go in the opposite direction. Explore, get stronger, learn how to master your build. The guidance of Grace can often be spurned to great effect. Thank you for listening. Welcome to Elden Ring. I can't believe we finally made it to the launch. First things first, let's beat the tutorial boss. I mean, I call it a tutorial boss, but this place isn't a tutorial. You're not going to learn much here. I mean, you're going to learn how to die. That's about it. This boss is tough. Plus, the reset for this area, if you want to beat this boss first try, it just takes ages. So, learning his moveset is a hassle, and you need to learn his moveset. So eat your boiled prawns and get ready. So you're probably wondering, what's the reward for beating this boss? Is it worth it? I want to say yes, it is worth it, especially if you want a powerful weapon and a powerful shield for the early game. By watching this video, I think I can help you get them. So every boss has attacks you want to look out for. That was one of them. It's very exploitable. And so is this. If you see that attack winding up, then you'll have plenty of time to mentally prepare for the parry. Although, the parry window is pretty tight, as you can see there. So, if you try this, you're going to want to choose a class with a 100% physical block shield. The Vagabond and the Confessor both have one. The Vagabond has a lot more health and better armor than the Confessor, but the Confessor has a heal, which means there's a little bit of room for error. But the best starting class for this encounter anyway is definitely the Samurai. I mean, he comes with a longbow and a ton of arrows and a really good longbow weapon art that just lets you destroy this boss from range. You don't even have to really learn the intricacies of too many of his attacks.
win.
So who is this boss? The Grafted Scion. The name alone is super poetic, and it tells us so much. So, grafting is a horticultural procedure whereby tissues of plants are joined so they can continue their growth together. Now, a scion is a young shoot or a twig of a plant that is specifically chosen for this purpose. So, this boss might have been chosen for the purpose of grafting. But a scion also has another double meaning in that a scion is a descendant of a notable family. And based on the weapons this boss is wielding, there's definitely some nobility there. The description of his swords reads, "After falling from grace, the dregs of the golden lineage sought power and purpose in the past." I wonder if the process of grafting was a part of this past, and I assume they're resorting to this depraved act to get their power back. That was a good fight. Man, just the feeling of practicing and overcoming difficulty is so rewarding, and it's absolutely there in Elden Ring. Some bosses are easy, but some you really have to learn everything about them, and that means there's something here for every type of player, I think. These swords should appeal to every player. They only require 14 dexterity and 10 strength. The shield, on the other hand, requires 24. So where do we go now? Well, you walk forward here, and a great crow carries your way. Or not. So I'm skipping ahead here. I've leveled up my character a fair bit, and I've cleared pretty much all of the stuff that was within the fog in the closed network test. It's definitely time to move on from that content. We're headed south. So the concept with this edited playthrough is to have a really good 30-35 minute session with the game, going through a lot of really good story beats and exciting gameplay encounters and showing great things that you might have missed and showing off tips, everything. So this route that I'm taking through the world, it's really heavily planned out, but it has to be executed perfectly in my eyes, and I've actually attempted this run multiple times by reloading my saves. I was pretty happy with how this one went. Just because I plan this out doesn't mean I don't run into trouble. The game is still hard. I will still fail.
Oh boy, that's a lot of blood letters.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, so that attack is very cool. You can only use it when you charge up your attack fully while the sword's are buffed though. So these soldiers that we're fighting, they are soldiers of Godric, who resides in Stormvale Castle. Upon their tabard is a lion crest, and it's the same lion crest that was upon the shield that we got from killing the Grafted Scion. According to that shield, the lion emblem depicted is Sarosh, an aged counselor who guides the Golden Lineage. But the Golden Lineage is clearly in disrepair, and these soldiers are not in complete control of this area.
You're on the rides fields?
Hello? Is somebody there? Might I bend your ear for a moment, please? My name is Arena.
Do what?
I've escaped from Castle Morn to the south.
What did you say?
The servants there have rebelled. I can't be sure what it is. My eyesight's been weak since birth, you see. But I swear I heard frightful howling from all over.
This poor woman was being escorted out of Castle Morn, probably via this carriage that lies destroyed in front of us.
My good father secreted me out the castle, but decided himself to stay. He says it's his duty. As commander.
We're fighting our way through the dejected remains of Arena's entourage. Right there, their bodies are being savaged by wild dogs, and worse.
I fear for father's life. The servants are full wrath. filled with hatred for every one of us. They've since come for every one of the companions I escaped with. They haven't spared a soul. I fear it's no different at Castle Moon. Please, I implore you, would you mind taking a letter to my father at the castle? My soul wishes that he escape, even if his honor should be the price.
What's so amazing about that whole sequence is just how well it tells the story through the environment, but also how well it humanizes all of the enemies we just faced. That doesn't happen very often in Souls games, but it adds so much to the world. You know, those beastly creatures were former servants of Castle Morn, which we're heading to now. And those soldiers of Godric, those were simple soldiers enlisted to defend a noble on her escape out of the castle. The giant was pulling the ruined carriage, the dogs were feasting upon their corpses. There was a story there, if you're paying attention to it. Right now, I'm prepping for what is probably the most difficult encounter in this run. It's a boss fight that only shows up at night against the Night Cavalry, one of those riders that was featured in a previous story cutscene where they were talking about the Rune of Death being stolen. I want that weapon. I want that weapon so bad. It just suits the sort of Dark Templar Confessor character that I'm going for. So we need every advantage. We need kukri. We need to sneak up on him. We need to use fire weapons. And I'm going to use a flail myself, because the flail does bleed damage, and if I can bleed him out, then that will be really good, because bleed is a percentage, and that's usually better against encounters that you're underleveled for. Also, the flail is just cool as hell, especially when it's imbued with fire. I think the best strategy while you're mounted against this guy is to try to stay behind him. And it's worth remembering that you can quickly change directions while doing mounted combat by doing a double jump. Too good, so I try to pull out the kukri because I forgot to equip them. I desperately want to bleed this guy or kill his horse so I can even the odds. You'll be surprised how much damage you can do when he's off the horse. This is where you get your damage in, but I am aware I'm one hit away from death. And if I let this go too long, he does a mounting up attack that does quick AoE damage. So I decide to keep my distance. rewards from this boss are so good. Barricade Shield, which you'll remember from some of my earlier playthroughs in the network test, and the Night Rider's Flail. 24 dex requirement. That's why I have like no health, but I do decent damage now, at least. After I'm done applying the Ashes of War, it's time to go to Round Table Hold. This is a place that you'll unlock after defeating Margit, as Melanie invites you.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to see whether or not grace truly does guide you, and whether you are fit to face the challenge that entails. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrin had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Round Table Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions.
Fuck them up.
Guided by grace.
Close one.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new Tarnished made their way to the Round Table. Very well. As your senior,
I will be in my chambers.
the Iron Dragon, seeking rare substances. Fire and metal!
Magistrate stands ready. Chosen by dragons. Such a pitiful servant of Qianqi! Speed and unity win the day. Distraction and confusion upon them. Harmony above all.
Fly the Emperor's flag. Shugengan Lord reporting. Born to rule. It shall please the dragons. The path of destiny. Blend with the night.
Alchemist of the House of Secrets. I shall sow destruction.
They will be waylaid.
The Changer is not even trying. demands I can make from you.
I was not informed of this encounter.
Hey. I like it.
Your followers think you are fools.
I yearn to return to my forge. The infinite might of Xiangyan. They pay the iron price. Ruler of the Sky Road. An extension of my celestial will. Xiaomeng! Ah! No time to waste! This way! House of Secrets provides.
Celestial ancestors. My ancestors require it. Witness their demise. Make your ancestors proud. Render them helpless. Offspring of dragons. I was born to wield it. Shugengan Lord reporting.
Witless flabby oaf.
Strange manners of hexas. What strange malice of hexas?
That was a mistake, maggot.
Lord Magistrate. Astromancer of the Celestial Court. Their passage shall be slow. Success was not in question. Your mind is in your stomach. Cafe Etat. Our path is clear. Their strategy of surprise.
Metal and fire. I shall sow fear and fatigue. I shame the House of Secrets.
There must be order. Heaven's servant. Ruin will fall upon them.
Power in the blood. Dismantle them. We will bring order. Only ashes shall remain. Child of the Nine.
Master of Elixirs. I seek Warpstone.
Celestial blacksmith in search of Warpstone. Praise be to the Iron Wind.
Windshaper.
City Command.
Only what I listen to is me.
Child of the Nine.
There is merit in this.
The bloodline of the Celestial Emperor gives me jurisdiction in these talks.
You have no power over me.
Just trimmed a cow and you won't believe what I found in her foot. I definitely wasn't expecting it. This is the Hoof GP. Make sure you've subscribed.
So we knew that this cow was in a lot of pain because the farmers told us to watch out for her because she was really feeling her feet. What we didn't realise was how serious the problem she had was and just how quickly it could be fixed. This video is all about the very quick pain relief of this cow. Neither of us saw this cow entering the race, so we didn't actually know which foot she was lame on. We picked up all 4 feet as we always do, and we started on the back right. Once we got trimming, we soon found a problem with this foot here. Believe it or not though, this wasn't the actual problem we had set out to find. It was almost immediately apparent that she had deep soul hemorrhaging, that bruise on her outer or lateral claw, and that definitely would be causing her problems. We didn't know how deep that bruising went, and it actually could form an abscess.
This cow's in because she's on the lame list. It's not hard to see what's causing this lameness. This is a problem. It doesn't look huge, but it's obviously causing her discomfort. We don't want to take this foot down too far because we need to get a block on it, but at the same time it needs to be completely level and dry and free from as much muck as possible. So we're going to reduce the height of this whole heel in an effort to get the weight off this area. But as you can see, this claw is actually larger than the inside claw. So to reduce it enough to get the weight off this foot is going to be a real problem. So we'll use a wooden block just as a temporary measure to allow this foot to thicken up and heal. And hopefully she doesn't have too much wrong with that other foot.
Famous last words. Once we've trimmed away what we can with a knife, we flatten off that inner claw so that the block glues on nice and tightly and doesn't come loose prematurely.
Craftsmanship. Now I know there's not a huge amount wrong with this foot, but it's obviously causing her discomfort. And this block will sort it right out and take the pressure, that painful point, away from her mindset. It'll relieve her of pain. And this block should wear out in about 4 or 5 weeks, and this will have healed. And while that dries, we'll move on and do her back left foot.
Worships me!
Which doesn't look bad at all.
In the world of hoof trimming, you take each hoof as it comes.
The Emperor is with us!
Great, she's got a great big piece of shiny metal stuck in her foot. I'd say a great big piece, it's not that big to be fair. I'm not exactly sure what the best way to approach this is. This foot has got plenty of depth in it though, so usually these are just screw heads that people have been working, and people have been working around the farms and cut the screw head off and then the cow stands in it and it causes an issue. I actually usually have nippers with me, but I don't have them today. What? And pull it out of the back of my knife. That is well and truly stuck in there. It's going straight in, or is it? Oh my god, look. That'll be my knife blunt then. Jeez! Look. God knows how long that's been in there. Look at that, look! That has gone all the way through her foot and stuck out the side of her foot.
You think you've seen it all, and then you find this. Now onwards with the trim to see if there's any lasting damage hidden beneath the site that we've just pulled that bolt from.
Let's hope this has not gone too deep. Get in! That has gone right through her foot. But because she's been overgrown, it's not been a huge issue. Which presents me with a bit of a problem. I'm always preaching to you guys that cows shouldn't be overgrown, that we should routine trim them. But maybe if she had been routine trimmed, this would have been a seriously big problem for this cow. As it is, it's turned into pretty much nothing. Although, having said that, when she was walking with that in her foot, there'd be no give in it whatsoever, so it would be like walking with a bit of Lego in. And that has turned into a beautiful foot. Great. Back onto the other foot. I hadn't actually quite finished this before the block was applied, so let's get that finished. Lovely. Imagine that being in your foot.
Right, just the front 2 feet to quickly trim and spruce up before we can let her go and see how she's walking with that bolt pulled out of her foot.
That would be that knife. Correct. Look.
Yeah.
If I just press that, the knife breaks. People ask me, do I get through many knives? Not really. That's usually what happens.
Which one was it? The ruined one? Ruined teleportation? Ah, that one is painful.
And moving swiftly onto the last foot before we snap anything else, these feet are in really good shape. It just goes to show what routine trimming can do. If it weren't for that bolt, this cow would probably be in good shape. Because of the bolt, she'd be overburdening her back right hand foot, which led to that bruising.
Holy crap.
Strike off the... We shall prevail. They paid the iron price.
I bet she's glad to have that out. And that, guys, is the Hoop GP. Make sure you subscribe because those numbers going up really do inspire me to keep going and keep producing content. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.
Desert Alchemist. a great boon to my experiments. House of Secrets.
How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good day. If you're new to the channel, my name's Sheldon Thomas, and this is the SNS Horseshoe YouTube channel. Today we got kind of a special case, and if you watched my last video, you know that we're down in Arizona, where I'm usually up in Washington. We're down in Arizona visiting some family, doing some internships and stuff. So because of that, I get the opportunity to take care of these horses. So my sister-in-law ended up rescuing this horse. She got 2 horses for her kids to ride. What happened was there was a family in the community that, as their kids got older and got more involved in sports, they realized they weren't giving enough attention to their horses. And these 2 horses are retired rope horses, and as their kids grew, their kids were riding them and using them, and their kids got involved in sports, and they realized they just weren't giving them the attention that they needed to, and they were kind of neglecting them. And so my sister-in-law was looking for a horse for her kids, and so they ended up adopting these 2 horses and are getting them taken care of back up into shape. Unfortunately, the horse, like you read in the title, the horse we're working on today has ring bone, and I'll go through with some pictures later on in the video and explain exactly what that is and how it affects their feet. As you can see, it's been a little while since they've gotten trimmed, and with ring bone there is some shoeing stuff you can do, and you probably need to get a vet involved, get some x-rays to make sure that's exactly what's going on, but with a little bit of knowledge I got, it's pretty obvious that it's ring bone. And the biggest thing that's most obvious is no matter what's going on, we need to get their feet taken care of. Their feet are just too long, and so if we decide maybe here in the near future to get some x-rays, to maybe try some different shoes